paid homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee at Sadaiv Atal Memorial. He also paid tributes to brave hearts of the country at the National War Memorial. Now, for the swearing-in ceremony, subcontinent leaders, Bangladesh Prime Minister and Sheikh Hasina, Seychelles VP Ahmed Afif have arrived. The event is also expected to witness the presence of leaders from Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal and Mauritius as part of India's neighbourhood first policy. While many top guns of the BJP have been retained in the new cabinet, there will also be some new entrants from both the BJP and of course the balancing of the new allies. Just a short while ago, Narendra Modi met all new ministers that are to be inducted at his residence. Let's show you the pictures from the Prime Minister's meeting with what the new cabinet is going to look like. So this gives you an idea of what the new cabinet will look like. You've got the likes of H.D. Kumaraswamy, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, all part of this meeting. So that is already giving you an indication of what the cabinet will be. Jaishankar, Nirmala Sitharaman, Jayant Chaudhary, Ramdas Athavale, Mr. Bittu, all there. So they're going to be new faces plus some of the old. Let's tell you also what the messaging from the Prime Minister was. There are about 65 to 70 MPs, we are being told, who were seen at the Prime Minister's residence. So that also gives you the idea of the shape or the contours. We will of course break down everything that we are learning. But first up, the big message from the Prime Minister to all cabinet ministers or those who are going to be sworn in as the cabinet ministers. So what did he say? He said, needs to continue the Viksit Bharat agenda. That of course was the agenda on which the Narendra Modi led BJP fought the last elections. Development work to continue with no halt. He's known for his delivery. He's known for efficiency. He wants to continue that. Finish the unfinished work. So not everything got done in the last 2 terms. They've got a lot more that they want to do and achieve. That's the message. And don't work under anyone's pressure. Important message coming in from the Prime Minister himself to what is going to be his new Sarkar. Implement the 100-day plan is also his message to his new ministers. Remember, before the term ended last time, the Prime Minister had already given these directions to BJP leaders and the sitting ministers that they need to present the next 100 days plan to the government so that they are ready and kick-starting as soon as the new government is sworn in. We're also getting some breaking updates coming in. Giriraj Singh speaks to News 18. Says the Prime Minister has reiterated the commitment that we have for Viksit Bharat. That's the message coming in from one of the members who was there as far as this meeting is concerned, that the message is there should be a commitment to the idea of Viksit Bharat. Remember, the Prime Minister talks about not just the next 5 years, he's already started talking about the next 10 years. That gives you an indication of how long he plans to continue. And he has also talked about the fact that he needs to make India a developed country by 2047, and therefore his vision is for that goal. Let's listen into what Giriraj Singh said.
Minister Designate Giriraj Singh here with us. Sir, बहुत-बहुत बधाई आपको. प्रेशर महसूस हो रहा है या खुशी हो रहा है कि फिर एक बार जनता के लिए कुछ करने का मौका मिल रहा है?
देखिए, जिम्मेदारी होती है, ना वो प्रेशर होता है, ना वो खुशी होती है. जिम्मेदारी.
प्रधानमंत्री की तरफ से आप लोगों को ऑलरेडी 100 दिन का फ्रेमवर्क दे दिया गया है?
पता नहीं, आप सब चीज जानती ही हैं, तो मुझे पूछने से क्या फायदा. देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री के सामने लक्ष्य है विकसित भारत, और विकसित भारत के लिए 100 दिन क्या 365 दिन सबको काम करना है मिलजुल करके.
कोई खास बात उन्होंने कही आप लोगों से? आज बहुत सारे डेब्यूटेंट भी थे.
सब आ गया.
कोई खास बात सर?
नहीं, कुछ नहीं.
हाँ?
कुछ.
एक सवाल सबके मन में है कि बिहार से इस बार कम से कम 6 मंत्री मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल होने जा रहे हैं. बिहार में असेंबली इलेक्शंस भी ड्यू हैं. नीतीश कुमार के साथ काम करना कैसा रहेगा भाजपा के?
बहुत अच्छा.
कोई दिक्कत, कोई चैलेंज?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई चैलेंज.
क्योंकि उनके ऊपर बार बार ये आरोप लगता रहा है कि वो ट्रस्टवर्दी नहीं है, बदल लेते हैं अपना स्टैंड.
कोई दिक्कत
नहीं है. अच्छा सर, आप अभी तक स्किल डेवलपमेंट में देखते रहे हैं, कैसा है बिहार की जनता के लिए? आपको कौन कौन से मंत्रालय लगता है जरूरी है बिहार की डेवलपमेंट की?
चिंता मत करें, एनडीए की सरकार बिहार में भी है, एनडीए की सरकार भी है.
और ये सरकार आपको लगता है पूरे टर्म निकाल लेगी, पूरा स्थिर सरकार निकाल लेगी?
आपको क्या लगता है? मैं नहीं जानता हूं, ये 5 साल चलेगी।
मेरा आखिरी 2 सवाल है सर। राहुल गांधी के ऊपर कांग्रेस की तरफ से ये प्रेशर है कि वो लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन बने। एज अ लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन आपको लगता है राहुल गांधी कैसा परफॉर्म करेंगे?
वो उनके लोग जाने, कोई ना कोई लीडर तो अपोजिशन में रहता है। क्या होगा? कोई रहेगा, वही रहेगा जो जिसको बनावे, उससे हमें क्या लेना देना।
और अखिलेश यादव की तरफ से जो तंज कट रहे हैं कि आपका पूर्ण बहुमत अपने आप नहीं आया है, तो ये
उनको बहुमत तो आ ही गया है। वो सरकार, अरे अपोजिशन क्या करेगा? जो अपोजिशन खुद कह रहा था कि मेरी सरकार बनेगी, तो उनसे न पूछिए।
Right, Giriraj Singh there, speaking to CNN News 18 on what Modi 3.0 has in store.
Let's go across to my colleague Arunima, also joining us live. You've spoken to one of those who was there in the meeting and is expected to be sworn in. Arunima, the big messaging from the Prime Minister is that there needs to be continuity and possibly even more focus on the delivery that they have set their minds on. That's the message that the PM gave to his expected new cabinet.
Yes, even before the elections were announced, Prime Minister had actually asked all his cabinet colleagues to continue having a program for the next 3 months. And today when he met the new cabinet, new council of ministers, some who were already working with him in his second term, some who are debutants, the message was that of continuity. A 100-day plan has been given to them, that whatever ministries they are given, and the ministries will be known after the oath ceremony today. Rashtrapati Bhawan will send that official communique, and then they will know what ministries, what portfolios. But nonetheless, the Prime Minister's message to them is, have a 100-day program over the next 3 months since you take oath. What is it that you are going to do with your ministry? What is the plan of action towards Viksit Bharat? Viksit Bharat seems to be the buzzword, and Giriraj Singh there confirming there that it does not matter what portfolio I get or anybody else gets. The Prime Minister, as the head of the Union Council, has made it very clear that in the next 3 months, you must give me a framework, a roadmap of how to ensure that the pace of development for India does not slow down.
Absolutely. Arunima, stay with me. We're going to go across to Arunima and a lot others of my colleagues who are tracking what is happening right now from various vantage points. But I want to give you a quick check of the new entrants from the BJP that are expected in the new Modi Sarkar. So Modi Sarkar 3.0 is going to have some new faces from the BJP as well. Of course, a lot of the focus has been on the allies, right? Because this is a government now contingent on the allies' support. But it doesn't mean that the BJP's representation is going to be diminished or they're not going to fulfill their plans. In fact, 80% of the cabinet is going to be the BJP cabinet. So let's look at the new entrants as far as the BJP is concerned. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, lot was made out about the fact that he lost his chief ministerial seat before the last Madhya Pradesh elections, but the BJP won those handsomely. This time also the BJP has done very well in Madhya Pradesh, a trend they couldn't quite hold on to in some of the other northwestern states. So he's a former Madhya Pradesh chief minister and of course one from Vidisha. Manohar Lal Khattar is the other chief minister face from Haryana who was removed mid-term last time around. He won from Karnal. A message there from the BJP that we haven't forgotten you or that our stalwarts are now going to function in a different role. Let's go on to Suresh Gopi, the big face of the BJP from Kerala, BJP's first Lok Sabha parliamentarian from Kerala. He, of course, has emerged as the star from the state and was, of course, being tagged as one that could do it for the BJP. Malayalam actor, he won the Thrissur seat and that opened the BJP's account for the very first time. Remember, this has been a long time coming. He has lost the last Lok Sabha elections. He recently lost in the 2021 assembly elections in Kerala as well, but success at last. Another new face could be Ravneet Singh Bittu. Joined the BJP just before the elections. He lost the Ludhiana seat though to Raja Waring. He's grandson of Punjab Chief Minister, former Punjab Chief Minister Beyan Singh and a former 3-time Congress Lok Sabha MP, but a big face from Punjab that the BJP managed to acquire and he's going to be part of the new cabinet, we are being told. Another big face of the BJP, Bandi Sanjay. Now, again, a lot was made about the fact that in Telangana, he was removed as the state chief. He retained the Karimnagar Lok Sabha seat this time around. Overall, BJP has done very well as far as Telangana is concerned. Former BJP president from the state. Moving on to Uttar Pradesh. Now, Uttar Pradesh wasn't really the bright spark for the BJP this time around. But Jitin Prasada, who's waited his time, is going to get his shot this time around. UP PWD minister, he won from Pilibhit. Remember, Pilibhit is known as the seat that was the god of the other Gandhis with the BJP. Varun Gandhi had been sitting MP from that seat. Earlier, Menaka Gandhi had fought from that seat as well. He quit the Congress a few years ago and joined the BJP, and since then has been part of the Yogi government at the state level. Now he is going to make the shift to the national capital. C.R. Patil, four-time MP from Navsari, the BJP Gujarat chief. He is the first non-Gujarati to be the state president, and of course he's delivered very well for the party at various forums as part of the party member or the organization member. Police constable turned political leader who is going to be part of the new cabinet as well. Arunima, my colleague, continues to be with us. So Arunima, lots of new faces and reward of sorts. The message is that we haven't forgotten your contribution. The new and the old, everybody who's done well is being rewarded.
Perform or perish seems to be the message from the Prime Minister. Everyone, like for Giriraj Singh, who I just spoke to, he had a tough battle at hand. The other big leader, R.K. Singh, who was fighting from Ara, he did not make it and lost by a huge margin. But Giriraj Singh managed to salvage his seat. And there were a lot of talks that, Lalan Singh comes from the Bhumihar community as well, same as Giriraj Singh. So in terms of caste equation, in terms of caste dynamics, will you give two Bhumihars a place in the Union Council? But looks like the Bharatiya Janata Party has gone with Giriraj Singh because they want to ensure that they have their own Bhumihar face in Bihar and not just depend on ally JDU. Plus Giriraj Singh's own performance. He has managed to hold on to his seat, and that's why he's back in the Union Council. Overall, if you see Bihar, there are about 8 ministers who are making it compared to Uttar Pradesh, where our calculation shows 6 and Uttar Pradesh has 80 seats. So out of 80 seats, 6 ministers are getting representation. Bihar, which is halfway at 40, Bihar has 40 Lok Sabha seats, is getting 8 representations already in the Union Council. So a message is also being sent by Prime Minister. Bihar's assembly election is due, and therefore the Prime Minister is also giving that message that that's a state that's important for him and much more needs to be done for the state. That seems to be the messaging.
Right. We'll keep coming back to you. Ravneet Singh Bittu is actually speaking to CNN News 18. Let's listen in.
Bittu sir, live. Ravneet Bittu is with us, who has just come out after having that tea with Prime Minister. Bittu sahab, first of all, many congratulations. You are going to be the I think only minister from Punjab in the Modi cabinet. What is the feel like and what are your priorities?
नहीं, absolutely आपने ये बहुत ही कहा भाई, चाय पे चर्चा, और मोदी जी की चाय तो वैसे ही मशहूर है भाई, और वो चाय मिले तो वो मतलब किस्मत वाला ही होता है। और मेरे जैसे को, मैं इलेक्शन जीता भी नहीं और फिर भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने मुझे अपनी मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल किया, इससे बड़ी बात तो कोई हो ही नहीं सकती।
आप जीते नहीं, आपने कहा, उसके बावजूद भी आपको मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल, आपको उम्मीद थी कि आपको, और किसका कॉल आया, कब कॉल आया और क्या फीलिंग थी?
उम्मीद 100% थी। मुझे ये था पहले दिन ही जब मैंने कांग्रेस छोड़ के, क्योंकि मेरे मन में और कुछ नहीं था, मैं एमपी तो वहाँ चौथी बार भी बन जाता, पर मैं ऑपोजिशन में बैठ के पंजाब और लुधियाना का क्या कर सकता था, कुछ नहीं। ये उनको पता था भी अगर ये इतना बड़ी पार्टी जिसमें इसकी लेगेसी है, जिस पार्टी को बनाया है, उसको छोड़ के ये बीजेपी में ज्वाइन किया है, तो ये कुछ करना चाहता है, और वही मौका उन्होंने देख के मुझे आज दिया है।
पंजाब में अब किस तरह का रोल, क्योंकि आपके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अब बढ़ गई, आप मंत्री पंजाब के कोटे से हैं, वहां पर भाजपा का उतना ग्राउंड में कुछ है नहीं, तो कैसे?
ना, हार जीत अलग बात है, लेकिन ग्राउंड में 23 सीटें हम जीते हैं और 19% हमने वोट शेयर लिया है, और ये अकाली दल से जिसके हम पार्टनर थे उससे ज्यादा बड़ा है। बहुत कुछ ग्राउंड में मैं अपनी विधानसभा शहर की 6 में से 5 जीता हूं, और अब 27 तक वहां पे गवर्नमेंट बना के दिखाएंगे। इतनी मजबूत बीजेपी वहां पे है। सिर्फ ये एक विश्वास उन्हें नहीं था, वो विश्वास हमने करके दिखा दिया। भी यहाँ जो बीजेपी है वो जाखड़ साहब और सारी हमारी टीम ने पौधा लगा दिया है, और उस टीम का अभी जो फल है वो 27 में मिलेगा।
आखिरी सवाल बिट्टू साहब, आपको लगता है, क्योंकि ऑपोजिशन की तरफ से कहा जा रहा है कि सरकार पूरी 5 साल नहीं चलेगी क्योंकि भाजपा के पास अपना नंबर नहीं है, तो कितना आपको विश्वास है कि सरकार पूरी चलेगी?
नहीं भाई, मैं आपको कह रहा हूं भी 240 और 240 और एनडीए, वो तो इलेक्शन के बाद की जोड़ तोड़ थोड़ी है कोई। और दूसरी तरफ आम आदमी पहले ही भाग गया, और ये मैं आपको बता दूं विद इन 6 मंथ्स कांग्रेस अकेली रह जाएगी और बाकी पार्टियां जो ग्रुप हैं वो अलग अलग, ममता जी अलग जाएंगे, अखिलेश अलग जाएंगे। और जो कांग्रेस पार्टी आज तक अपनी पार्टी का एलओपी का फैसला नहीं कर सकी, और खड़गे साहब को बार बार कहना पड़ रहा है डरो मत राहुल जी को, वो क्या कर पाएंगे आप समझते हैं? और उनका क्या है, चेयरपर्सन कौन बनेगा पार्टी के? सोनिया जी। एलओपी कौन बनेंगे? राहुल गांधी। और बाई इलेक्शन कौन लड़ेगा? प्रियंका गांधी। आप क्या कह रहे हो उस पार्टी का?
Let's also go across to our experts joining us. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, George Kurian, political analyst, leans towards the Congress party. Yuvraj Pokharna is a journalist also with us. And with me in the studio is also CNN News 18 consulting editor Rahul Shivshankar. Rahul, we just talked about some of the new big faces that could be entrants. So that includes the likes of former chief ministers in Manohar Lal Khattar, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but of course the likes of Suresh Gopi and others. What do you make of the balancing act the BJP is doing, first within itself, and then, of course, we'll talk about the allies as well.
Well, thanks. Lovely to be here, of course. It's a historical day, and in about 2.5, 3 hours, we are going to see a great assembly, an august gathering of the who's who at the Rashtrapati Bhawan, and the Prime Minister is scheduled to take oath at around 7:30. So, Shivani, that's going to be momentous, and we're all building up towards that, aren't we? Look, the BJP is very clearly in command and control. There is no doubt about it. You look at the grouping. The core team has been retained almost name for name, and you can see some of them in the front row. Amit Shah is there, a lot of speculation around his name, needless it appears. Rajnath Singh still occupies that position where he is actually the number 2 to Mr. Modi in protocol terms, and right next to him is Amit Shah. That's the first row for you. Mr. Gadkari on the other side. Again, very expected faces. Of course, a couple of allies also been given prominence. That means that 1 or 2 will, of course, have cabinet berths, full cabinet berths. Whether they'll be part of the CCS or the CCEA is not known as of now. We're going to try and get those scoops for you earlier. But it appears that the Prime Minister is sending out a message of continuity, stability. Look, he says, this is not about the fish and loaves of office. This is about serving the people of this country. We are all here to serve India. This is not a unseemly exercise in bargain hunting. So you're seeing an equanimity there. You're seeing an equity there. Jitendra Singh is there. You're seeing Hardeep Singh Puri. You're also seeing the regional satraps from all the important states that the Prime Minister believes is where the BJP fell back a little bit. And remember, in just about 6 to 8 months, there are going to be 3 very crucial elections. Yeah. There's the Delhi election coming up. There's the Maharashtra election coming up, which is very, very singularly important for the BJP to do well in, to send out that message that, look, we are very much there. We are not in any way diminished. And there is Delhi. Delhi has been an odd problem. It's been an anomaly. They've won back-to-back, or now 3, of course, Lok Sabha elections with 7-0. They've swept it, but never at the assembly level. So you'll see a few faces. Maybe Ms. Sherawat, I'm being told, has been picked from that grouping in Delhi and it's been sent
Harsh Malhotra's name is also going up. 2 of the new MPs that the BJP fielded. Rahul, just very quickly, I want to go across to our colleagues, Pallavi, who's joining us, and also Aman, and I'll go across to our guests in just a bit. But Aman, coming to you, the whole setup to the next cabinet, it wasn't as strenuous as possibly the opponents of the BJP were hoping it will be, isn't it? How did the negotiations go? Was it all smooth, or were there points of contention that could be a problem?
Well, Shivani, I think what I'm hearing is that it was an extremely smooth exercise. You know, if you see the total council also, about 60 plus ministers, only about a dozen from the allies. So clearly the allies have not got the lion's share as the opposition was expecting, or some of us were expecting they would get. I think the main factor in that is that both the TDP and the JDU are more interested in this financial infusion into their respective states of Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, the special package which is being spoken about, because the nomenclature of the special status no longer exists. So both these states, I think their top priority was this financial package for their respective states. Bihar wants it and Andhra Pradesh wants it for Amravati, for the irrigation projects and various promises that Chandrababu Naidu has made to his state. So it is mostly more about helping Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. I think the second priority was getting a respectable representation in the Council of Ministers. So what the BJP has given them is one cabinet minister and one MOS each. There was earlier talk that the TDP could get maybe 2 MOSs, but no, right now it is one cabinet minister, same to JDU as well as the TDP. So the total capping of the allies has been kept to about 12 or 13. Nearly 80% of the portfolios, more than 80%, are with the BJP. So the BJP rightfully saying that we are 240 MPs, we are the largest party, so we will garner the lion's share. And essentially, Shivani, if we see that in the portfolio distribution also, when it comes, the top 4 ministries, the other key ministries which are key to the growth engine of this government would be with the BJP ministers, because the likes of Ashwini Vaishnav, Nitin Gadkari, all these top ministers, be it, Bhupendra Yadav, everybody has been repeated in this particular government along with the top 4, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, S. Shankar and Nirmala Sitharaman. So I think the top ministries, the key ministries will also be with the BJP. It's been a smooth affair. There has been no to and fro here. Exceptionally smooth distribution has happened, and we would see that in the days to come how it goes.
All right. Let me also go across to Pallavi. Pallavi, balancing act all complete. Just a sense of the big messaging that you feel the Prime Minister is giving with his new cabinet.
That he's going to be very much in control, contrary to the speculation and contrary to the analysis that this is going to be a weak government, that he's going to be buckling under pressure, because that's what coalition politics is all about. I think it's a clear-cut message that he's very much sitting on the saddle. From the choice of ministers, that continuity going on, the fact that it is BJP heavy, and even the allies who have been put on board, the factors which they have been taken into account, and the kind of messaging which the Prime Minister gave when he was speaking to his new team a short while back at his homecoming residence at the Lok Kamlan Marg was very, very clear that we have an unfinished agenda, the 100 days program, and you have to get cracking from tomorrow itself. This messaging was very, very required. This messaging was important, and I think that's the larger message which goes in from the new team.
All right. Aman and Pallavi, stay with me. We'll keep coming back to you for more. R. Rajagopalan and Yuvraj Pukharna still with us. R. Rajagopalan, will the I shouldn't say enemies, but the opponents of Narendra Modi be a little bit, unhappy with the fact that no great drama has played out before the cabinet? Nothing in public, at least.
Where is opposition, Shivani? There is no opposition. Only 90 seats, 100 seats. And moreover, Mr. Narendra Modi has given the strongest possible team. My understanding, there are outgoing cabinet of Narendra Modi has got 28 cabinets and 3 MOS independent charge, 44 MOS, total 75. My understanding is there will be one more expansion after he returns from Italy, because he has taken only 60 persons and 15 are there. NCP, Ajit Pawar did not come, and some more faces will be added. And moreover, today, JP Nadda was seen next to Prime Minister in the meeting. He was to be inducted in the ministry because, his term is over. His term is over as BJP president. Who is his successor? Second thing, who is the speaker? From this, 60 persons, no one is going to be the speaker. Therefore, I have, information, either Om Birla continues or Mrituhari Mehtab is the speaker of Lok Sabha. And my surprise, only one surprise is, there are 2 congressmen who were much closer to Rahul Gandhi in last Lok Sabha and the previous Lok Sabha also, Jyotiraditya Scindia and Bittu. And they have crossed over. What did Bittu say just now to your correspondent? He said family. Yeah, but therefore, the family has come back to haunt the Prime Minister. And second, Rajnath Singh is the continuity of Atal Bihari Vajpayee regime to Narendra Modi's regime. So his presence is also well appreciated.
Okay.
He has importance to the youth, because Sanjay Bandi, Jain Chaudhary, Bittu, Jitin Prasada, Kiran Rijiju, Purandeshwari, these are all some new names. So therefore, Prime Minister has given a focus to that. That's what I could make
you do need talent. You do need young talent, especially Rahul. But the 2 big questions, R. Rajagopalan is right, is one, who succeeds JP Nadda as the next BJP president? And what happens to the portfolios, for example, of the top 4 or 5? the portfolio is going to be switched around at least?
Well, you know, that's something that we'll have to look at. The Prime Minister usually keeps his cards very close to his chest. But I agree with Dr. Raja Gopalan that if there is going to be suspense, it's always going to be on the Speaker's post right now in the limited short term, because the BJP has made it clear, according to sources, that it would like to retain the Speaker's post. The opposition has been trying to suggest that the Speaker's post is key, said that look at what has happened to other parties in different states in the legislature where they were not in control of the Speaker's post, the parties were broken, things were out of shape there, and they found themselves in a spot of bother. So the advice that came through from the Congress ranks and from certain other political parties like the TMC was retain the Speaker's post at all costs. Now, I also do agree with Mr. Raja Gopalan that there might be more people brought in at a later date. We're being told that that is a possibility. How soon that happens, we don't know. But fundamentally, I think this is a message for continuity. You're not seeing in those people who occupied the top 5 or 6 posts in government, including, don't forget, education and HRD, very important posts, INB ministry also, fundamentally important to this government. It appears that the same people are back willy-nilly. Not all of them, of course, were elected members of parliament. 1 or 2 of them were Rajya Sabha members, and seeing them there suggests that they will perhaps continue in the same vein. Now, as I said, everything here, of course, has to be said with a pinch of salt because the Prime Minister can spring surprises. But it'll be interesting to see, as you were saying, power equations changing within the BJP, if at all. How are they accommodated? Who are the new faces that are going to be brought in, keeping an eye on the latest posts? Now, remember, Maharashtra has got a huge chunk of representatives. So that is a big surprise that has come through. Not because Maharashtra doesn't deserve it. Of course, it does, the second largest state, but because the BJP performed underwhelmingly. So obviously, there is an attempt here to try and send a message that, look, Maharashtra remains very key in our scheme of things. There are 5 people, Piyush Goyal, Nitin Gadkari, Pratap Rao Jadhav, Rakshak Khadse and Ramdas Athavale, who have been brought in. Yes, nobody from the NCP. Now, why that has happened, we don't quite know. We'll see how the NCP reacts. Will it actually happen at a later date or not? But it's an interesting message that has gone through because there's a real uncertainty around Ajit Pawar. And there was a little talk of perhaps him sort of going back to Sharad Pawar's camp, and there has been sort of rumblings. So maybe the Prime Minister is waiting and watching on that, but Karnataka also gets a large sum of people. 5 of them, Nirmala Sitharaman, of course, who's been brought in there as Rajya Sabha, so that quota is being used. But HDK Kumaraswamy, an ally who's done phenomenally well for the BJP, also transferred votes in the south of Karnataka, so that's helpful. Prahlad Joshi, Shobha Karandilaje and V. Sumanna. None of these 3 people are surprises here, so they are back.
Yeah.
Odisha also sees a bit of representation.
Yeah, of course, Odisha is that one big state that has delivered big time for the BJP. Let's go across to some breaking updates coming in. Yuvraj, I'm going to come to you very quickly. But the updates that we're getting from the national capital, that there is a dispute going on as far as the NCP is concerned regarding whether they get representation or a post of a minister, I don't know, MOS or a minister in the new cabinet. There is discussion in power circles in Delhi that there was an argument between Sunil Tatkare and Praful Patel. There is talk that a ministerial post has been given by the BJP, but due to certain other issues that hasn't been announced just yet, we haven't really seen an NCP face as far as this meeting is concerned. So Rahul, exactly what you were pointing out to earlier, that NCP, what happens to that? Because there are internal rumblings as far as the NCP is concerned, and then there are, of course, issues of wanting to be seen as part of an NDLI, although they haven't really delivered well. But do you think infighting could be the biggest reason that could bring down the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction right now?
I think there is jockeying for space there. Don't forget this assembly elections are around the corner, and the BJP will have to really make up its mind as to whether bringing on Ajit Pawar and that faction really help the party. Many people are saying that too many compromises were made in search of seats, and perhaps this was the wrong decision. Remember, a couple of these people in the NCP ranks were singled out for corruption, not by anyone else except for the BJP itself and some of the topmost leaders. Even the Prime Minister had an opinion on some of these individuals, but then they were sort of alloyed with the BJP in this large coalition there. Unwieldy, some people will say, full of contradictions, others have said. So, and the results haven't been good. So the people have not actually rewarded this cynical exercise of, trying to get people to win you an election at any old cost. So I think that's been rejected. And Yuvraj is also there. He knows a little bit about both the states of Gujarat and Maharashtra.
Yeah.
Maybe we can weave him into this conversation.
Yeah, so Yuvraj, how do you see it? Do you think there's infighting going on? The NCP, Ajit Pawar faction cannot get anything more than one post, I would believe, right? Given their results. So could there be infighting within that party faction of who gets that seat?
Namaste Shivani and Rahul. First of all, I think it's very unbecoming of us to indulge in speculations. But yes, there is some inter-Senan feud between the Shinde faction and Devendra and Ajit Dada Pawar. But having said that, I believe that since I hail from Gujarat, PM Modi is a trailblazer. He does things in an unprecedented way and he's a very hard man to please. So even if you read the alleged cabinet as of now, he has done with some geographical considerations, electoral considerations and coalition considerations. But the message is very clear that these guys are looking at the credentials of the individuals who can deliver to the 100-day deadline set by the PM towards the concepts of economy, internal security, whether defense, IR, and the whole rubric that is touted by the BJP, that is the Viksit Bharat. Some kind of common program, because last 10 seconds, there's a difference between this PM and the earlier PMs. PM Narendra Modi has chosen a coalition government. It is not that this coalition government has chosen a PM. So to me, this is PM's coalition, not that he is the coalition's PM.
But
so it is Modi all the way.
No, but you are making a virtue out of a necessity. The BJP does need his allies as it stands. Let's face it.
No, but it's a pre-poll alliance, Shivani.
It is a pre-poll alliance. It was a pre-poll alliance in 2014 and 2019 also, but they weren't dependent on their allies. That's the difference.
See, I'll tell you. If you give me 30 seconds, even after 10 years, BJP has maintained a strike rate of 50%. It has now proven to be a pan-India party with more votes than Congress, even in South India. And it enjoys a mammoth vote share of 37% across India. So, by hook or by crook, he is the only face for any political party who is looking forward to serve the nation. And PM Modi does not have any rival, any competitor. So, any party, every party has a but obvious choice, that is to shake hands with PM Modi. Okay. And he is the man with the face that BJP touts, Neta, Niti and Niyam.
All right. We come back to our studios in just a bit. Prashant Leela Ramdas, my colleague from News 18 Lokmat is also joining us. Prashant, क्या खबर मिल रही है आपको? क्या अंदर लड़ाई हो रही है ये एनसीपी अजित पवार फैक्शन में कैबिनेट बर्थ को लेके? क्या उनको कैबिनेट बर्थ ऑफर किया गया है और क्या इंटरनल लड़ाई चल रही है?
नहीं, जिस तरह से बात उभर के आई है, सुबह से लगातार मीटिंग चल रही थी। एनसीपी के सारे कद्दावर नेता उस मीटिंग में उपस्थित थे, जिसमें तटकरे जी भी थे, साथ में प्रफुल्ल पटेल भी थे, अजित पवार भी थे। लेकिन जो बात आगे आई है कि उसमें प्रफुल्ल पटेल ने कहा है कि मुझे मंत्री बनाना चाहिए। इस पर तटकरे काफी नाराज हुए। उनका कहना है कि मैं लोकसभा से चुन के आया हूं और उसके बाद भी मुझे मंत्री नहीं बनाया। इसीलिए को बात जो झगड़ा चल रहा है, उस झगड़े को सुलझाने के लिए जब देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी वहां पहुंचे थे तो उनको कहा गया कि जब तक आपका दोनों पूरे गुट का एनसीपी की ओर से एक ही नाम नहीं आएगा तब तक हम किसी बात की घोषणा नहीं करेंगे। इसलिए जिस तरह से चर्चा है कि उनका नाम इस कैबिनेट के एक से टल गया है, तो अंदरूनी जो झगड़ा है, तो अंदरूनी झगड़ों के कारण ही उनका नाम टल गया है। इस जानकारी आगे आ रही है।
All right. Prashant Leela Ramdas, thanks a lot for bringing us that update. On that note, we're slipping into a very short break, but on the other side, we'll get you more updates. A lot happening as far as the national capital is concerned as we build up to the swearing-in ceremony this evening. Stay with us.
In a short while from now. That's of course Prime Minister Narendra Modi also rewarding the regional leaders who've actually tried to make an impact and make a lot of difference as well. Nobody took CR Patil's call very seriously that they would cross 150 in Gujarat, but he has been able to achieve that mark. BJP has 25 out of 26 margin, despite the fact that Purushottam Rupala
comments against the Kshatriyas did create a lot of furor. But C.R. Patil was able to lead that charge, and of course, remember in Surat, the election was declared much before the voting really happened. So C.R. Patil comes in from a very, very experienced background. He's been somebody who's very, very close to the Prime Minister as well. He gets reward finally because, when the expansion really happened, one expected that he would be made a minister. But of course, he's waited his turn. He's been a confidant of the Prime Minister. He's been somebody who's worked very well on the ground as well. So he also is likely to reach the local landmark residence of the Prime Minister in just a short while from now. So importantly, Union Cabinet Ministers who've been working in the last 2 terms getting rewarded with continuity, and of course new people who've created impact in the regionals also getting a chance in here as well. So it's going to be quite a blend of old and new faces that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking at.
We're now learning news of some of the big leaders, the big faces arriving at 7 Lok Kalyan marks. So I want to quickly take in a word from Payal. What are you witnessing around yourself, Payal? Giriraj Singh, Sarbanand Sonowal, Amit Shah, JP Nadda, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, we believe they have already reached.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for us to actually understand who's reaching from here on, given the fact that there are cars which are fleeting around us, and we are on the other side of the road to the entrance where the people are supposed to enter. So only when they exit is when we'll know actually who is exited. That's when we'll get a confirmation. But yes, a lot of cars around me, given the fact that this is the main road, and the police have stopped us from getting onto the road and witnessing and seeing who's entering as well. So that is something which is there. But we are getting one big news that right now that Ravneet Singh Bittu, who in fact jumped a ship from the BJP, from the Congress to the BJP, he's also got a call in. Remember, he lost his election this time around from Punjab, but the BJP has decided to fill him. He's the grandson of Mr. Behan Singh, and he's been brought to the BJP just very recently, but he's going to be getting a look into the cabinet, is what we have been told.
Okay, all right. Very interesting that Ravneet Singh Bittu's also been dialed. So that's another interesting name added to the list. Apart from this, we're also learning that Anupriya Patel has left from her residence. She could be seen meeting Rajnath Singh a little while earlier, but whether or not she's left for 7 Lok Kalyan Mart, we'll have to wait a little bit for that. Let me quickly go across to Arunima as well. Arunima, we're picking up from the JDU camp source-based information on what's in line for them. As we've been discussing, that's what's expected. 1 cabinet portfolio, 1 MOS berth for the JDU. Are there any conditions that have been put forth by the party though?
Yes, we have been reporting this since yesterday. Now the topmost sources in JDU have confirmed to us that it will be 1 cabinet and 1 MOS.
All right, we're building up to the big swearing-in ceremony of Modi Sarkar 3.0. Prime Minister all set to take oath as the Prime Minister yet again for the 3rd consecutive time, and the first one since Jawaharlal Nehru to do so. A quick check of the big faces that could be the new entrants from the faces that continue to be, as far as the top guns are concerned, the ones that have been retained in the new cabinet. Now, a lot of speculation around Amit Shah. Served as the Home Minister in the last cabinet, won the Gandhinagar seat. That was never a doubt really, but there have been some speculations of whether he was going to go back to being a BJP president versus being in the ministry. So the pictures earlier from the Prime Minister's residence making it clear he's very much there. Rajnath Singh served as Defence Minister, won Lucknow, was one of the people who was able to weather the storm that BJP faced in Uttar Pradesh. Nitin Gadkari served as Road Transport Highways Minister. Many said he is the top performer, at least as far as Modi 2.0 is concerned. And he, of course, won from Nagpur very comfortably. Hardeep Singh Puri served as Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. He was also Minister of Urban Affairs and Housing. And these are also key deliverables of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led 2.0 Sarkar. Arjun Ram Meghwal served as Minister of Law and Justice. Remember, he came in as far as this ministry is concerned when Kiren Rijiju was moved away. Ashwani Vaishnav, another star performer from Modi 2.0. He held as many as 3 key portfolios. The top one, of course, was Railways under him. And Railways is that big ticket infrastructure that Narendra Modi Sarkar has been really focusing on. They would want somebody who can run it efficiently. Communications, electronics and IT were also under him, but railways was the point of contention that was being discussed. With a JDU type ally from Bihar, railways is always big for the state of Bihar, but it looks like the Narendra Modi government will retain railways. Piyush Goyal is entering as an elected member of Lok Sabha this time around. He has held 3 portfolios as far as Modi Cabinet 2.0 is concerned. In many ways on financial issues with all kinds of FTAs, etc. taking precedence and prominence. He's their big face. Commerce and industry, textiles and consumer affairs. Also someone who can come out and present the BJP's point of view and can be the BJP's face from the government towards the media. Remember, he's the one who addressed the press conference when there were allegations made by Rahul Gandhi over the alleged stock market scam. Jyotiraditya Scindia, the one who entered from Congress last time around, he was quickly inducted into the central government. He served as civil aviation minister. He's of course one from Guna, his Gad again. Now civil aviation again is a prime focus, new airports, more delivery, more flights, cheaper flights and things like that. His tenure was possibly a little bit more rocky than some of his other colleagues. Kiren Rijiju, of course, he served as the law minister and the sports minister in the past. We are being told that he could be, of course, in the cabinet one more time. Jitendra Singh, he served as the union minister and, of course, MOS, PMO as well. He won from Udhampur. He is likely to continue. Sarbananda Sonowal, he is, of course, from Assam, big northeast face. Along with Himanta Biswa Sarma and Kiren Rijiju, he served as the Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Again, a big focus of the government. And remember, Modi Sarkar 2.0 already gave a task to those who will be in 3.0 to present a 100-day program. And a lot of these ministers would have done that. In some of those key deliverable ministries, you do want that there should be some continuity. George Kurian is with us. George Kurian, not many surprises. And certainly no pushes and pulls that maybe the Congress and other parties or the India Alliance members were expecting. This is as smooth as it goes, regardless of the result.
Well, Shivani, good afternoon to you, to my co-panelist on your show, and to your audience. It's a good thing that the Indian government is keeping in line with the priority accorded by India to the neighborhood first policy, and they have invited our neighboring countries, be it Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan. Having said that, I really appreciate, if the government could have invited Pakistan also, because that way the bilateral talks could have, taken a shape, and things could have been more clear as far as Pakistan is concerned. Having said that, I also want to reiterate for the benefit of your audience is that this 3.0 NDA-led Modi government won't be in that capacity as we have seen back in 2014 or be it 2019, because here the NDA allies will play an important role with respect to their saying as well, because it's a moral defeat for the Modi government, because they have been limited to 240 and decimated from 303. So that is one thing, and they haven't crossed the halfway mark on their own. So that is one thing, and I really doubt if this government will complete a full term. Because we also understand that Bihar is going to come, the assembly elections in Bihar is next year. Anything, because Nitish Kumar has been very vocal about the special status to Bihar and be it Chandrababu Naidu with respect to Andhra Pradesh. So these are the priorities. They will keep pushing the Modi government, and they don't live up to the Modi government or the NDA doesn't live up to the expectations of Nitish Kumar or Bihar.
There is no denying that there are going to be issues. Some will be contentious, and that's how it goes in a democracy. I don't think there weren't contentious issues even last time around either. But Rahul, what do you believe? Will those contentious issues derail Modi 3.0?
Very highly unlikely, of course, because look, as it is, there are no ideological issues that the BJP has already sort of ring-fenced. So they've already had experience where they set aside some of their core issues of the past. If you remember Article 370, Ram Mandir in previous iterations, and also Article 370 wasn't on the so-called syllabus of the government of Jammu and Kashmir when they tied up with PDP. It was to actually bring that in, that the BJP sacrificed its government. There are no real ideological deal-breaking issues right now. Even on the UCC, it's now pretty much accepted that the states will bring in their own variations on the UCC and implement them. I don't even think there will be a requirement for a national level UCC beyond just symbolism. That is something that I also suggest that we should look out for. I think what is going to happen over the next few years is that increasingly BJP-run states will bring in what they believe are legislations to bring in a UCC. So that key ideological issues also been set aside. Yes, there could be however, some tension with regards to special economic packages. Now, whether you want to call them special economic packages of the kind that are no longer allowed, of course, under the new provision, but you could have a little back and forth between the allies and the BJP on the terms of those financial, let's call it bailout packages.
Or grants, special grants given.
Remember, Chandrababu Naidu has just come to power once again in Andhra Pradesh. He's going to look to consolidate. It's a very opportune moment for him because the Congress did not make an impression on voters. The BJP remains a very small ally even now. They are by far a room to sort of grow and consolidate itself. The YSRCP also pushed to the margin. It will take a little while before Jagan Reddy can get his act together. So there is also, of course, the issue of succession in the TDP, which needs to be taken care of. For all of that, Chandrababu Naidu is going to want to show to the people of Andhra that his association with the Prime Minister has been beneficial to them in a transformative way. And of course, in Bihar, the same issue. Bihar goes to about polls in about 17 months, willy-nilly. And there again, the BJP would like at some level or the other to consolidate. They have lost about 8 or 9 seats there. They don't want to see the RJD gaining ground. It had gained a lot of ground in the last election. There were question marks around the JDU, but this time they aren't. And therefore, if you see, Bihar has got a fairly good representation this time. The LJP has been accommodated in at least 5 more leaders. If you just quickly look at the math, I think it's about 5 or 6 people have come in from Bihar.
I think it was 5 last time and 6 this time.
So they've actually increased the number. And again, there the opposition is goading Nitish Kumar to demand a special financial deal from the centre. So that is something that Nitish Kumar will be looking over his shoulder at, because remember, he's the Chief Minister of Bihar. He's a kingmaker at the centre, and he wants to tell the people of Bihar that, look, he has influence over Mr. Modi. So I don't think they're too bothered about cabinet berths. I think they're going to look
more of what the states will get from them. Let me take quick comments from our other guests as well. R. Rajagopalan, what do you think about that? Will the allies be a little bit more free to press as far as Narendra Modi is concerned, or would they already have assurances that as long as their state gets what they want to deliver for their people, everything is hunky-dory?
Shivani and Rahul Shivashankar, having known Mr. Narendra Modi in very personal quarters, Modi converts crisis into an opportunity. He is master of that. Whichever crisis it comes, he has managed many crises, including 370, as Rahul Shivashankar mentioned. And second thing, running coalitions is not a easy joke. I do agree. Nitish Kumar and Naidu will create problems, but at the same time, Narasimha Rao and Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ran a government of coalition. Now I would like to give you a mathematics. PV Narasimha Rao plus Atal Bihari Vajpayee is equal to Narendra Modi 3 votes, because Narendra Modi will master the efforts of Mr. PV Narasimha Rao's ability, capacity, capabilities, and also gone by Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Therefore, there is no problem. Now, coming to the crux of the problem, Rahul Shivashankar will appreciate what I am going to say now. 3 things will be very important for running the government, madam. 1, Prime Minister will go for EGOM, group of ministers. He will try to revive that. What Manmohan Singh did, Modi, because of his root roller majority, he did not go for it. Second thing, Deputy Speaker. Mr. Narendra Modi did not have a Deputy Speaker in second term. Now he has to revive it because of the compulsions of the coalition. Second, standing committees or parliament will be given more teeth. So these 3 will ensure running the government smooth. That is my answer to your question.
Yuvraj, it's not just the internal pushes and pulls. It's also about the fact that you have to contend with a much larger and vociferous opposition. In fact, I thought the opposition did a great job even with their limited numbers last time around. You look at how Parliament went. They may not be happy with the way the treasury benches were working, but they got their point across as well. They were able to stall as much as they wanted. This time around, the government, not just Narendra Modi, but the government, their boots on the ground in Parliament, parliamentary affairs ministers, others, will have to go across the aisle a little bit more.
Yeah. See, Shivani, we need to understand that even at the worst, where BJP is humbled, BJP is the single largest party. But as you rightly said, opposition seems to be much more united But let's see how does it pans out. Because even before the swearing in ceremony of the new government, Aam Aadmi Party has snapped ties with the Congress. So let us wait for the coming 6 months to see how does it pans out in the parliament. But yes, I could not have agreed more with you. It will be a Herculean task for the government to ensure that the opposition stays on board. It does not let the government digress off the agenda, and we do not waste more parliamentary days, time, and crores of taxpayers' money. It seems a very Herculean task for the new government. So yes, we're looking forward to interesting times.
Absolutely. Interesting times. But while we're sort of focusing on the BJP's own sort of relationship with the allies, remember, and I think Raja Gopalanji, if you bear me out on this, the allies have also signaled that they are willing to pare down their expectations so that this NDA can give good governance without paralysis that we saw in the UPA, without the internecine wars that were breaking out between ministers in the UPA. So I think they're very conscious of the image they want to project. Right now, it's about hitting the ground running, showing some quick results in the next 9 to 10 months so that they have a story already to go to with to the public. Also, the Prime Minister emphasized the 100-day target. So there is a big agenda that he was talking about even before the elections sort of began to unfold. And I think it was around the first phase, just after the first phase, that he said that he was actually having meetings with his inner core team to decide that 100-day agenda, because he was confident of coming back, and more importantly for him was to implement from day one. So day one will begin from tonight, knowing the Prime Minister.
Yeah. George Kurian, there would be a little bit of a responsibility on the opposition as well to not be seen as opposing for the sake of opposition. Sorry, Mr. Rajagopalan, I'll come to you in just a bit. You wanted to say something. But yes, George Kurian, responsibility on the larger opposition as well. That at least when it comes to things that are for the benefit of the country, you need to come together. Some of the things they said in the past, but they opposed because the Narendra Modi government was doing, the farm laws was a prime example of that. So even if you disagree a little bit with how the new government is doing it, GST for example, you've got to understand that the government of the day is the government of the day. You're the opposition of the day. And you have to make your points heard, but you cannot be seen as stalling or opposing for the sake of opposition.
Well, Shivani, the Congress Party or be the India bloc, we are not opposing for the sake of opposing. Let me make it clear. Having said that, you know, we are in a role, and we are going to play a strong opposition in the parliament, and we are going to voice out in the larger interest of India and the people of India. Having said that, you know, you cannot ignore the fact that in the past, be it Chandrababu Naidu or Nitish Kumar, they had the relations were not that too good with Narendra Modi or the Bharatiya Janata Party. The relations were on and off. So you know, it's up to the mercy of Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar that the government will run. So I'm really doubting, you know, how far they will be able to stretch themselves. The complete 5-year term looks unlikely to me at this point in time. But having said that, we as a strong opposition, we will not, it's in our nature and it's in our character that we will not try to break away the pre-poll alliances that we have, and we wish them all the best.
Yes, R. Rajagopal.
Why did Jairam Ramesh say that special package will be given on the very first day to Chandrababu Naidu and also to Mr. Nitish Kumar? What John Korean said is he may be right in his view, but from yesterday's speech of Mr. Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu,
Sir, have you noticed something? Have you noticed something interesting? Remember when the last UPA government was being formed, there were certain middlemen type of individuals who were running around on behalf of their clients trying to insert ministers in certain portfolios. Do you remember all of that? And then there were these tapes that appeared, and a whole cast of characters got betrayed in those tapes. You might remember, sir, with great aplomb at those days, this story was being reported aggressively. So,
there is nothing
like this.
Tape or P. Chidambaram asking CBDT to investigate it. Mr. George should understand these things. Second thing, coming to the point, I deal with two aspects, one political and administrative things. Administrative-wise, Mr. Narendra Modi set the ball in motion from today onwards. And Cabinet Secretary a short while ago had a meeting of 125 days, Rahul Shivashankar, not 100 days. And 25 days more for youth. So therefore, you compare that with the induction of the ministers. To at least 18 ministers are very youth, giving projection as a youth cabinet. Second, politically, the best answer to Mr. Narendra Modi, Nitish Kumar, and Naidu, 3 N's, is katakat, 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 katakat.
Okay, all right. We have to slip
If I
into
may.
a very short break. I do thank the guests who are not continuing with us. We'll be right back with more and we'll get you some latest updates as well as far as the happenings in the national capital are concerned. Stay with us.
So the next 100 days is going to be very, very critical, and the Prime Minister set the task, cut the task out for the MPs. That's his message to all of them. He did have a quick interaction, remember, over tea with some of those who are also going to be making it to the cabinet, and all of them were in attendance a little while earlier at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg as well. Pallavi, to quickly come to you. Now, remember, every time we talk about the BJP strategy, one is also looking at, you know, whether it's going to be a 100-day plan, whether it's going to be Viksit Bharat by 2047. The Prime Minister always sets these targets, and the opposition, interestingly, tries to use it to its advantage and turns it around and gives a counter slogan to it.
So I think a couple of messages I think the Prime Minister has certainly given to the opposition parties, and he's going to be confronting them a lot when the new Parliament session meets. See, we are looking at those first pictures, I guess, which are coming out of Team Prime Minister, Team Modi 3.0, and we've been talking about the continuity and the change and the kind of a regional and caste balances. But just to talk beyond that, because now we've been talking about the kind of faces, what is it going to be the task which is going to cut out for them? I think the Prime Minister, as an astute politician, does understand that, you know, he cannot let it go the UPA 2 way. UPA 2 also began on a very rocky wicket. It got worse for them because at some point of time it led to a policy paralysis. It without a perception that Dr. Manmohan Singh may have meant well, but he was always constantly buckling under allied pressure. I think the Prime Minister's messaging, even in choosing his team, is very clear. It's going to be hands-on. It's going to be mostly BJP. Those faces which you've been seeing in the last 10 years carrying on the idea of Viksit Bharat will continue to finish that agenda. I remember on multiple platforms, the PM, while addressing the campaigns and rallies, would say that, you know, we have an unfinished task which has to be fulfilled. The 100-day task which has been given to his ministers in the previous term also, it was very interesting. Right, I remember even after the last phase of voting was over, he had 7 meetings talking about cyclone, heat wave. But one of those 7 meetings, Christine, was on the 100-day agenda, the report card. That was a confidence, but that was also his deep messaging which is going out even now and hence on, is that, you know, my focus is going to be on development, social development, but most importantly economic development, which is why the people who are going to be chose to head and in charge of the key infrastructural economic ministries are going to be very important, and that will give us a sense of how much he thinks that this is the team which needs to go ahead to fulfill this agenda, and thereby also sending out a message to the opposition that I am not going to be a lame duck government.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित
The Modi 3.0 era is kicking off. The most comprehensive coverage of the historic swearing-in ceremony. Only on CNN News 18.
UPA 2.0, I'm going to be very much a person, a Prime Minister who is in control. That's also a rebuttal to this entire theory which is being pushed by the opposition ever since the results came out, that he should not be called the Prime Minister designate, he should be called the Prime Minister resignate, he doesn't have the mandate. He takes his own time to rebut and respond to opposition, but when he does, I guess he wants to do it this way, and I think that first messaging certainly has gone in from these pictures that we're seeing coming out.
Absolutely, and not to forget, these pictures have also highlighted for us some of the names that we perhaps missed out on. For example, Bhupendra Yadav, he can be seen in these visuals. We really didn't have a confirmation on whether or not he received a call and subsequently made it to the Prime Minister's residence. But keeping a sharp focus on these exclusive visuals of the Prime Minister interacting with some of the MPs. And remember, most of them are going to be taking oath alongside the Prime Minister as well. His message is to the MPs to implement the 100-day plan, what this plan is all about and what's going to be the key focus of the NDA through the next 100 days. That is of course something that we still have to watch out for. But the other big names that we perhaps missed earlier in the day, Bhupendra Yadav, there's also Virendra Kumar, there's SPS Baghel, there's L. Murugan, all of them can be seen in these visuals. We're closely zooming in these visuals. Ravinder Singh Bittu, like I said, a very interesting name. Now when we talk about these names, when we talk about all of them who've assembled at the Prime Minister's residence, these visuals of course are from a little while earlier. Payal, one is always left to wonder on what is it that the BJP thought, for example, when it decided to dial K. Annamalai or Ravinder Singh Bittu. In your opinion, what are the factors that must have gone into play while these names were shortlisted by the Bharatiya Janata Party, because these visuals make the story amply clear. Yes, there is a challenge that the BJP is looking at, but they're wanting to meet.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on CNN News 18. I'm Shivani Gupta and we're building up to Narendra Modi-led coalition NDA government taking oath later this evening. Top NDA sources have confirmed to CNN News 18 the breakup of the alliance partners, and we'll get you those details. Remember, TDP and JDU have emerged as the big ally partners that have delivered big for the alliance, and some others have not done so great. So these two will get, of course, the heavyweight distribution, but others also have some state considerations. It will be interesting to see how those are managed. But one thing can be said, that the pushes and pulls so far have not been as tenuous or acrimonious as some were expecting it, that this is the moment for the likes of Chandrababu Naidu, Nitish Kumar, both of whom have had off and on relationships with the BJP, to kind of get their pound of flesh and make it very evident that Narendra Modi doesn't have the numbers on his own. They were so vociferous in their praise and in their support when the NDA Parliamentary Party meeting took place the other day, and that kind of rested some of the doubts. But it's a long way to go. 5 years government term, a lot can happen. But let me first break down for you exactly who is expected to get what. So TDP is one of those big alliance partners. They have, of course, the interest in the state, but also would want representation at the center. They're going to get, we are being told by our sources, 1 cabinet berth and 1 MOS berth. Similarly, for the JDU, even Stephen, as far as they are concerned, 1 cabinet berth, 1 MOS post. Janasena, which is the other bright spot for the NDA alliance from Andhra Pradesh, was a smaller partner, of course. They are not set to be part of the cabinet. They might negotiate a little bit extra as far as the state scenario is concerned, because that's where they're going to play a larger role. NCP and Shiv Sena, we are being told, will get 1 berth each. What exactly, we don't know. We were also hearing just a short while ago that the NCP internally, and here the NCP means the Ajit Pawar faction, the NCP has some internal problems going on. They won 1 seat only. Their elected MP wants to be in the cabinet versus, let's say, some of their bigger names. No post for the... Alright, so the Shiv Sena is expected to get 1 post, but we right now don't have a confirmation as far as the NCP in the cabinet is concerned. Let's talk about the big state of Bihar. Now, Bihar is where all the action is. We're being told that there will be more than 6 representatives from the state of Bihar. 5 could be as much as cabinet rank, while the others could be MOSs. Chirag Paswan, ally partner, Lalan Singh, Jitaram Maji, Nityanand Rai, who was obviously there last time around as well, Giriraj Singh, who was there last time around as well, they all seem to be included. Let's also go across to Ajay Tamta, Almora Constituency, part of the NDA cabinet, joining us. Mr. Tamta, can you hear me? Yes, Ajay Tamta from the Almora constituency, part of the NDA cabinet. Ajay ji, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी नमस्कार, मेरे को अब थोड़ा आवाज आ रही, मगर कम हल्की आ रही है आवाज, आप बताइए।
जी, मैं कोशिश करूंगी जितना जोर से बोल सकूं। अभी कैबिनेट की स्वेरिंग इन होने वाली है, काफी कुछ 65-70 जो एमपीज हैं वो प्रधानमंत्री से मिले हैं। आप हमें बताइए प्रधानमंत्री की मीटिंग में क्या हुआ और किस तरह का माहौल था, क्या मैसेजिंग थी?
देखिए, सर्वप्रथम तो मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से मैं अपने संसदीय क्षेत्र अल्मोड़ा, पिथौरागढ़, बागेश्वर, चंपावत की जनता का, देवतुल्य मतदाताओं का, बहुत भाइयों बहनों का बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, जिनके प्यार और आशीर्वाद से मुझे अपने संसदीय क्षेत्र के कामों को करने का अवसर मिल रहा है। आने वाले समय के अंदर जो भी काम मुझे प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में दिया जाएगा, उसको जो पिछले 10 वर्षों से हमारी सरकार काम कर रही है, उस काम को और ताकत के साथ रात दिन लग करके मेहनत करके उस काम को और शक्ति बना करके उस काम को और तेज गति से बढ़ाने का काम किया जाएगा।
कुछ बता सकते हैं कि आपको क्या लगा, प्रधानमंत्री ने जो मैसेज दिया है उसमें से सबसे बड़ा मैसेज क्या है?
मैं आपको इतना ही बता सकता हूं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जिस प्रकार से हमारे अभिभावक के रूप में पूरे देश की जनता का मार्गदर्शन करते हैं, और उसी ताकत के साथ में आपको मालूम भी है, पहले भी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी हम सभी सांसदों के साथ मिल करके बैठ करके कि अपने संसदीय क्षेत्र के अंदर हम कैसे काम करें, सरकार में जब भी कोई मंत्रिमंडल होता है उसमें भी हम कैसे काम करें, इस तेज गति से काम करने का योगदान लगातार हमको मिलता रहा है। इसलिए मैं आप सबको बताना चाहता हूँ, वो हमेशा ही रहा है, हमेशा ही काम करते हैं, और इसलिए कोई ऐसा नहीं है, हमेशा हमारी जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास हमें होता रहे और हम अपने क्षेत्र के प्रति पूर्ण निष्ठा से काम करें, यही हम सबका।
कोई मोदी मंत्र दिया है उन्होंने आपको? कोई मोदी मंत्र कैसे अच्छा काम डिलीवर की जाए?
इससे बड़ा मंत्र क्या हो सकता है कि हम सबको अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास अच्छा हो, हम अच्छे से काम करें। जिस जनता ने हमें चुन करके भेजा है, उस जनता के उस क्षेत्र की समस्याओं का समाधान हम पूर्ण मेहनत के साथ, पूर्ण लगन के साथ, पूरा समय लगाकर करें। यही मंत्र हम सब लोग मानते हैं और यही मंत्र होना भी चाहिए।
अच्छा, आपको कुछ आइडिया दिया गया है आप किस मिनिस्ट्री में हो सकते हैं?
नहीं, ऐसा कोई किसी प्रकार का किसी को भी आइडिया नहीं दिया, और मैं सौभाग्यशाली हूँ कि मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने मैं चाहे विधायक के रूप में, प्रदेश सरकार के रूप में जो भी मैंने काम किया, और पिछले 19 में भी मैंने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में काम किया, इसलिए जो काम मुझे मिला है, चाहे पार्टी का, संगठन का, सरकार का, उन कामों को हमने पूर्ण मेहनत के साथ किया, पूर्ण लगन के साथ किया। उसी लगन के साथ आने वाले समय में जो भी जिम्मेदारी मुझे मिलेगी उसको पूर्ण लगन मेहनत के साथ किया जाएगा।
अच्छा अजय जी, एक बात बताइए कि विपक्ष के जो लोग हैं वो बहुत ये कयास लगा रहे हैं कि ये सरकार चल नहीं पाएगी। आप देखें तो जेडीयू और जो टीडीपी के अलायंस पार्टनर्स हैं बहुत स्ट्रांग हैं इस सरकार में, तो उस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
ऐसा मेरे को तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आता। हम पिछले भी गठबंधन की सरकार के साथ काम करते रहे और ऐसा कहीं नहीं है, और विपक्ष के बारे में मुझे कुछ कहना भी नहीं है। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Ajay Tamta, Mantri designate from the BJP from Almora, for joining us. Rahul continues to be with us. I also have Aman joining us from the BJP headquarters. Aman, what activity is there? What anticipation there at the BJP office?
Well, a lot of speculation, a lot of discussion over the names which have made it to the Union Council of Ministers, Shivani. Everybody is talking about some people who have missed out, some people surprise names who have made it. As far as I can count about 65 names in the Union Council of Ministers now, about 53 from the BJP, 12 from the allies. So clearly BJP cornering a lion's share of almost 80% of the berths in the Union Council of Ministers. That's the number one headline. The allies have not got a lion's share as everybody was expecting. The allies have been kept under a reasonable limit of about a dozen berths in the Union Cabinet. So clearly that is number one headline. Number two, I think the UP Bihar dominance in this list. 9 ministers are from UP and 8 ministers are expected from Bihar. So it's actually 8-8, but you count Hardeep Puri ji, who's also a Rajya Sabha MP from UP. So UP becomes 9. So in a way, the balance has been kept in Bihar. I'm seeing 4 to the allies and 4 with the BJP ministerial posts. So clearly a balance being struck on caste as well as regional aspirations. Bihar, UP, about 7 to 8 women I can see in that gathering who I can count. So decent women representation also in the Council of Ministers. There may be an expansion later when we see more missing people. NCP missing from this, that is very interesting. There is said to be a dispute between either Sunil Tadkare or Praful Patel who will make it to the Union Council of Ministers. So that NCP call is still to be taken. I was told that the list of the allies would be 13, but it is 12. Maybe that one position is being kept in abeyance till the NCP decides who from their camp would want to become the union minister in the Union Council of Ministers. Otherwise, all the top ministers, in the BJP are being retained. So I don't see any major changes at the top, especially in the CCS ministries, Home, Finance, External Affairs, and Defence. So all the top four ministers, Amit Shah, Mr. Rajnath Singh, S. Jaishankar and Nirmala Sitharamanji are continuing. So if there is a reshuffle amongst them, we can't say. Nirmala Sitharaman has earlier handled Defence, then she was moved to Finance. Rajnath Singh had earlier handled Home, then he was moved to Defence. So we'll have to see if there is a change of reshuffle. But all the other, I would say, the performing engine of this this government, the second rung ministers, I wouldn't call them, but the real ones, who have come up very strongly in Modi 2.0, Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal, Bhupendra Yadav, all these people are continuing. Hardeep Puri, Jyotiraditya Scindia, strong ministers continuing in this government. The message of continuity, bringing in new faces, because 20 ministers, remember, lost in these elections. Obviously, there has been space given to many new faces. Surprises also like Ravneet Singh Bittu, who lost the election in Ludhiana, but the BJP has still brought him into the ministership. So he will get maybe one of the Rajya Sabha posts, which is getting empty because 3 of the ministers in the Rajya Sabha have won from the Lok Sabha now.
Right. And Rahul, do you believe, last few times there's been some criticism, actually even from BJP supporters, that there is some talent deficit as far as the BJP is concerned, particularly in the cabinet. Do you sense any problems in, inducting new faces, talent? It looks to be like a full room of people who can, deliver and step up to the role.
Yeah, there is a combination of people who've even been chief ministers who've come back and asked to contest as members of parliament. I don't think that's the issue here. I think a large number of those who were brought in were supposed greenhorns, etc., have done pretty well by at least the basic yardsticks that the Prime Minister judges them by, because obviously that's why they're back again. I'm not seeing people being dropped because of underperformance. They have been dropped, obviously, or not part of this cabinet because they've lost. And that is the biggest, I suppose, report card that you can actually tom-tom. But just let's have a quick look at 2 or 3 things. I just want to go over the Uttar Pradesh, the Bihar, and most importantly, also the Andhra. Now, this is very interesting. Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemmasani is somebody who is close, in fact, to the chief minister there, the incumbent or interim chief minister elect there. And also, of course, very interesting pick in Ram Mohan Naidu Kinjarappu. Now, this gentleman is only 34, son of former cabinet minister, the late Yaran Nadu, and also the nephew of TDP's AP unit chief, Kinjarappu Acha Naidu. So basically, once again, 2 very critical players who are very trusted by the TDP chief there. So that's an interesting one. And they're saying that one of them will get full cabinet berth, full ministership, and the other one will be an MOS. Let's see how that pans out. And Bihar is very interesting because as we heard Aman speaking, he said the allies have been accommodated, their top draw leaders have been accommodated. So all those caste boxes have been checked. Haryana is also looking very interesting. We just discussed this off air a few moments ago. Shivani, there is, of course, Mr. Khattar representing the Punjabi bloc. The Ahir bloc is also represented and the Gujjar community is also represented. So most of the big communities, the big castes, so to speak, the components there have been reflected. Of course, there is no Jat representation, but that might be something that will be looked at later. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe we can bring in Aman there. Uttar Pradesh looks an interesting deck because there you have Jitin Prasada coming in and Jayant Chaudhary. So there's the nod to the Congress crossover, just like Mr. Scindia. Jitin Prasada very close at one time to Rahul Gandhi, part of his Young Turk brigade that he was cultivating. So I don't think Rahul Gandhi will like that too much. It's like almost flashing a red flag in his eyes. Jayant Chaudhary, again, a crucial ally of the one-time India bloc, and now, of course, on this side of the fence has done very well as far as he's concerned. So he's there. There was a little bit of controversy as to why he wasn't seated alongside the other alliance partners in parliament just 2 days ago. But I think that's been taken care of by this cabinet berth. Now, we don't know if it's going to be something that's in Anupriya Patel back, even though people would be sort of looking closely at that alliance. Purvanchal actually slipped out of the BJP's hands this time. So Anupriya Patel, whether she really carried the day for the BJP or not, is something that will be looked at closely. And Bihar, of course, I think we've just discussed. So I think this is looking like a very balanced team. There is a definite emphasis on continuity. Odisha also sees, I feel that I'm always surprised that a certain 2 or 3 other names that might have found their way, like Jay Panda, etc., aren't there. It's interesting because he was actually vice president of the Bharatiya Janata Party and has won a very prestigious election in Kendrapada. So is he going to come in later, or is he perhaps going to get a bigger role at the state level? We don't know.
Yeah, that question is open.
That's another big open question. So intriguing. And those rumors about K. Annamalai getting something at the centre have been proven to be wrong. I think they're looking at him as a long-term player till 2026.
Yeah, no, because Tamil Nadu state elections is what we were told the BJP is ideally jumping to. They want a springboard to the state elections, and the Lok Sabha elections were supposed to provide that. We have Ramdas Athavale speaking to News 18. Let's listen in.
Modi 3.0 is taking shape, and perhaps one phase which has been part of the previous governments as well, with Prime Minister Modi and with the BJP, is Mr. रामदास अठावले. रामदास जी, पहले तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका CNN News 18 से बात करने के लिए. आप प्रधानमंत्री के साथ आपने चाय पे चर्चा की. प्रधानमंत्री ने सभी लोगों से जो उस मीटिंग पे थे संवाद किया. सबसे पहले शुरुआत मैं इसी चीज से करना चाहूंगा, क्या कुछ बातें हुई उस मीटिंग के अंदर और क्या विजन और रोड मैप प्रधानमंत्री ने रखा आप लोगों के आगे?
तो मतलब आज सुबह जेपी नड्डा साहब का जिन लोगों को फोन आया, मुझे बराबर 8:45 बजे नड्डा साहब का फोन आया और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवाज़ पर आपको बुलाया है और मंत्री परिषद में आपका नाम है, इसी तरह की जानकारी नड्डा साहब ने हमको दी. तो हम वहाँ मतलब प्रधानमंत्री आवास में पहुँचे. वहाँ पहले प्रधानमंत्री साहब का हमने पुष्पहार अर्पण करके उनका स्वागत भी किया.
Let's also go across to my colleague Arunima joining us. Arunima, the big state that everybody is focusing on, both before we had some names in our kitty and before even now, is the state of Bihar. Of course, from states like Bihar, UP, even Haryana, as we were discussing, there are a lot of caste balancing that needs to be done. How do you look, how do you read at the list that is coming in from Bihar?
See, I see it as a balancing act between the various alliance partners, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the JDU, the Hindustan Awam Morcha, HAM, Chirag Paswan's LJP, Ram Vilas. It's a balancing act as far as alliance partners go. It's also a balancing act as far as caste dynamics go. There are 8 ministers from Bihar. I think that's the maximum that any state has got in terms of representation. UP is a big state. There was 6 and 6 the last time we were calculating, but then UP has about 80 seats. Parliamentary seats. So 6 on 80 and then suddenly 8 on 40 is the score that Bihar has had. Of course, Bihar is being given a lot of importance by Prime Minister Narendra Modi because it's a state which will see assembly elections very soon, and RJD, Tejasvi Yadav, is snapping at the heels of the combined. So what's the caste dynamic that we are seeing here? There are 2 big ticket Bhumihar leaders, Lalan Singh and Giriraj Singh. It was being said that if one Bhumihar is being accommodated, will the other one be dropped because there are 2 from the same community? But Lalan is from JDU, Giriraj is from BJP, both making it there. Jitan Ram Majhi, representing the lowest of the Dalit communities, the Mahadalit, he's from the Musahar community. He's making it to the Union Council as well. Chirag Paswan has established his credentials as somebody who's the true heir of Ram Vilas Paswan's Dalit politics, strike rate of 100%, 5 on 5. So he's definitely coming to the cabinet. What portfolio, we'll have to wait and see. He's a young leader from Bihar, and we saw how fond Prime Minister is of Chirag Paswan. The others who are in this caste mix, of course, Karpuri Thakur's son, Ramnath Thakur, he comes from the Nai community. The Nai community, they're also finding representation. There's a Brahmin representation too. So the upper caste, the OBCs, Nityanand Rai, again a Yadav, Ahir leader from the OBC bloc. So the OBC community, the Dalit and the Mahadalit, there's a proper balancing act that has been done for Bihar, keeping in mind the dynamics that state has ahead of assembly elections.
Yes.
But the big question remains funds. That's the elephant in the room. How much can the centre really handhold the Nitish Kumar government? How much can the centre really help them in terms of funds? That's the big question, and that's the key point on which JDU is negotiating.
Yes. More than actually just a representation, of course, representation has to be done. what the indication from both the allies like the TDP and the JDU has been that frankly for them the focus is how much the state can get from the centre. Sanjeev Srivastav is joining us, also Desh Ratan Nigam is with us. I think R. Rajagopalan will also continue with us, as do my colleagues Aman and Arunima. So Sanjeev, how do you look at that? How do you think with the special status not really being available as it used to be, and while those have been the demands for both Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, the Narendra Modi government will be able to keep their ally partners happy in other ways, in funds, in grants, in big projects, focusing on these states?
See, there has to be a lot of give and take. We have to be, meaning we, I mean the BJP and the government, they have to be quite accustomed to the new reality, new arithmetic in the parliament. They have 240. So they have to take on board JDU and Naidu and Nitish Kumar. And both Naidu and Nitish Kumar are such seasoned war horses and politically so experienced that they can really match the Prime Minister and BJP's top leadership. So what seems like a very smooth beginning, and I'm sure the government will last, there is no doubt. But it cannot be smooth all the way through unless you are accommodating the allies. Now, whether the allies stop short at financial status or they want real power sharing in Delhi, that nobody really knows.
But don't you sense the alliance partners are also showing, at least as it stands right now, the maturity to say that yes, this is an alliance government, a coalition government, but you know, we are not going to try and be that caricature of the alliance partners from the 1990s and early 2000s that is always threatening to bring a government down?
I think they have been very wise, both Naidu and Nitish. And that's the way, that's the attitude when you praise the BJP Prime Minister in public no end and really can then go for a hard bargain or twisting arms behind closed doors. That's how real political negotiations happen. So what we are seeing in public domain is one side of the story. Now whether that's 90% of the story or 60 or 40, no way we can know. But these two allies are very, very seasoned and experienced people. And whether one likes it or not, they can ensure whether the government survives or not. So they can extract. But now, you know, whether they choose to extract, at what time they choose to assert, is something that they will have to decide.
Yeah, but the interesting thing here is, Desh Ratan Nigam, while everybody is talking about how, you know, they may have maybe one hand or one finger on the trigger at all times to pull out and bring down the government, one of them can do it. Both of them have to leave for the government to come down. So that's going to be doubly harder to achieve. Secondly, it's not like you can go to the other side and stake claim. You will still not have the numbers. So if both of them decide to pull support, we're looking at fresh elections. Do either of them want fresh elections? I'm not so sure.
Shivani, I don't think there is any possibility of a fresh election, because in a coalition and also in parliament, you have a very strong nucleus, which is a BJP. And even within the government also, it's a very strong nucleus with 240 seats. Even the opposition does not have that kind of a nucleus, with Congress only at 99. So this nucleus of BJP, which is very strong, will give permanency to the government for at least 5 years. And thereafter the elections, whenever they take place. I don't think the two major constituents out here, Nitish Kumar and Mr. Naidu, will try to pull out, because they want welfare of their own particular states, and given the the arithmetic in the opposition, that will be a very, very imbalanced and a fragile coalition, if at all, if it is formed and comes into the government. That they don't want. At least this coalition with a very strong BJP nucleus will have permanency and stability, and that is what they are looking for. And yes, in a coalition, we have seen that the working of the government slightly slows down because of the coalition pulls and pressures, but that is where the BJP's nucleus and the deft strategy and the Prime Minister's experience will come into the picture, and very handy. And nobody wants to disturb, because nobody wants elections, and the kind of elections, unpredictable the elections are, you never know, you will come back winning again. So I don't see any disturbance in this coalition, and this will complete its 5.
More clear.
Yeah, we're getting some breaking updates coming in, and this is from the state that has seen a massive reversal in fortunes for the BJD and the incumbent Naveen Patnaik. But his right-hand man, so as to say, VK Pandian, has now announced that he's quitting active politics. He's also apologized to the Biju family. This is the big update that we're getting from the state of Odisha, where the BJD not only got decimated as far as the Lok Sabha election results are concerned, they've also, of course, been booted out of power in the state elections. The Odisha state elections happen simultaneously with the Lok Sabha elections. That has been the norm for the past few times. And usually they have voted a little bit differently, or actually BJD has been the dominant party. That all changed this time around. Let's listen into what VK Pandian has said as he has announced that he is quitting active politics.
Jagannath, I come from a very humble family and from a small village. My dream since childhood was to join the IAS and serve the people. Lord Jagannath made it happen. Because of my family from Kendrapada, I came to Odisha. From the day I set my foot in the soil of Odisha, I have received immense love and affection from the people of Odisha. From Dharamgarh to Rourkela to Mayurbhanj to Ganjam, I have tried to work very hard for the people. 12 years ago, I joined the Chief Minister's office. It was an honor to be working for Shri Naveen Patnaik. The experience, the learning I had from him is for lifetimes. His grace, leadership, ethics, and above all his love for the people of Odisha always inspired me. His expectation from me was to implement his vision for Odisha, and we successfully crossed many milestones in health, education, poverty reduction, sports, investment, women's empowerment, infrastructure, and also in temple and heritage projects. Working for the youth, school and college children gave me great satisfaction. My own childhood memories of studying in a government school helped me to implement the Honorable Chief Minister's vision for school transformation under 5T. During COVID, we traveled to almost all 30 districts to ensure that the health infrastructure is ready to serve the people. In this time, we faced two super cyclones, Fani and Philin, and we really worked hard to save every precious life. I left the IAS, taking voluntary retirement, and joined the Biju Janata Dal to assist my
Ajesh Malik, my colleague from News 18 Odisha, is joining us now. Ajesh, बताइए आपको और क्या सुनने में आ रहा है? ये जो डिसीजन वीके पांडियन ने लिया है, क्या ये डिसीजन सिर्फ अपने आप लिया है, क्या उनको हिंट्स भी मिले हैं बीजेडी से कि अब समय खत्म है बीजेडी में?
देखिए, जो वीके पांडियन को लेके बहुत सारा विवाद हुआ था, जो रिजल्ट के बाद असेंबली और लोकसभा पोल के बाद जैसे भी सब जैसे निष्पत्ति हुआ था कि पांडियन के ऊपर भी सब गया था कि पांडियन की वजह से, वीके पांडियन की वजह से इसे रिजल्ट हुआ। इसे भी सुनने को मिला कि बहुत सारे सीनियर लीडर्स है और जो सीएम के पास जो मीटिंग हुआ रिजल्ट के बाद, जो पोल रिजल्ट आने के बाद जो मीटिंग हुआ, कुछ सीनियर लीडर्स भी ऐसे कुछ बताए कि जो बीजेडी का हार के कारण ही वीके पांडियन है, ऐसे कुछ सुनने को मिला। इसलिए अब जो इनके उसके बाद जो पहले बताए थे कि सीएम इस बार सीएम नहीं बनेंगे, नवीन पटनायक इस बार सीएम नहीं बनेंगे, तो मैं राजनीति में संन्यास लूंगा, ऐसे भी पब्लिक मीटिंग में भी वो भी बताए थे कि पब्लिक मीटिंग में बार बार भी ऐसे बताया कि सीएम नवीन पटनायक अगर 6 टाइम सीएम नहीं बनेंगे, इस बार 2024 चुनाव में फिर नहीं जीतेंगे और सीएम नहीं बनेंगे तो मैं संन्यास ले लूंगा, ऐसे भी बताए थे पब्लिक मीटिंग में। इसलिए बता रहा है कि ये जो बीजेडी का ये जो हार है, इसको जिम्मेदारी भी वो खुद ले ली है और इसके लिए वो राजनीति में संन्यास लेने के लिए पहले जो घोषणा किए थे, उस घोषणा की वजह से ऐसे कुछ डिसीजन लिए है, ऐसे कुछ बोला जा रहा है। लेकिन देखिए, जो कल सीएम ने भी जो पांडियन को लेके बहुत सारा क्वेश्चन आ रहा था, पांडियन को लेके बहुत सारा जैसे भी उनका उनको ब्लेम कर रहे थे, सोशल मीडिया से लेकर पार्टी से लेकर ऐसे कुछ आ रहा था। सीएम भी क्लैरिफिकेशन दिए थे कि पांडियन साइक्लोन हो या कोविड-19 हो और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट हो और ओडिशा के बहुत सारे डेवलपमेंट के लिए वो काम कर रहे थे, उसको ब्लेम नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे भी कल सीएम बताए थे। लेकिन वो जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लिए थे थोड़ा कैंपेनिंग के भी, वो तो थोड़ा सब रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उन लिए सीएम के साथ घूम रहे थे। वो भी 100 से ज्यादा भी कैंपेन किए थे और पूरा रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उनके ऊपर था। लेकिन वो जो बीजेडी का जो रिजल्ट आया, वो इसलिए वो उसका जिम्मेदारी ले लिए। और देखिए, जो पहले भी वो घोषणा किए थे कि बीजेडी इस बार गवर्नमेंट फॉर्मेशन नहीं किएगा और सीएम इस बार 6 टाइम नहीं बनेंगे, सीएम नहीं बनेंगे, वो संन्यास ले लेंगे। इसे बोला जा रहा है कि जो पांडियन पहले जो बोले थे इसे किए, और जो यो भी ऐसे क्लैरिफिकेशन दिए है कि उड़ीसा के लिए काम कर रहे थे, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के लिए काम कर रहे थे। साइक्लोन फोनी में वो उनका भी बहुत सारा कंट्रीब्यूशन है उसमें। और देखिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट से लेके कोविड-19 तक ये भी बहुत ये जो भी उड़ीसा के पैंडेमिक है, उनके उसी समय ही उनके रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के साथ काम कर रहे थे। लेकिन और सीएम के साथ
Right. My colleague Kamalika Sen Gupta is also joining us over the phone line. Kamalika, what more are you learning? What led to this development? Was it that public dare alone that PK Pandian had given, that if they don't win this time around, then he'll quit active politics, or is there more?
Definitely, Pandian was not accepted amongst the BJD workers and some of the BJD leaders. And that is a very big thing, which I think, which also led to the debacle, because actually nobody thought that in Odisha BJD will lose to BJP. There were this apprehension that BJP will do well in Lok Sabha, but BJP will crush BJD. That was not expected. Now, when the party was doing this analysis, all these murmurs are coming from all these sides that this Pandian's leadership was not, and the fact that nobody could reach Naveen Patnaik, all these things led to a resentment inside the party. And there is that the reason of actually doing bad in elections, that because this was absolutely not expected. This was a surprise for many, obviously for the Biju family and for Pandian, that they will lose the assembly polls. So there where, this is somewhat taking that responsibility. Pandian has quit politics. That is also one analysis which is coming up. And the fact that Pandian is somebody who is not from Odisha, that thing has been well campaigned by the opposition and also by those people who does not support Pandian in the party. So all these things, this debacle, this is actually a poll debacle for the BJD. So that is where this resentment inside the party, that resentment had its ramification in the public, resulting in such a horrible results of BJD in Odisha.
Right.
Nobody expected that this will be the result of Odisha. Everybody thought that BJP will do well in the parliamentary elections, but assembly BJP will actually give BJD a challenge, and actually will overthrow BJD.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
Yeah. Sanjeev Srivastav is also with me. How do you read this? Because it's not just saying that, okay, I'm take responsibility for what happened as far as the election results are concerned. He's quitting active politics. That means he doesn't see his future in the BJD.
That's quite obvious, no? He was a Tamilian. The entire story which played out, the narrative which played out in Odisha was that why is a Tamilian being given so much importance by Naveen Patnaik? And if they had won the election, it would have still made sense, he would have had some future. But now with Naveen and in the twilight of his political career, and the entire BJD rank and file really not so favorably disposed towards Mr. Pandian, Mr. Pandian has chosen the graceful exit way, and I think it makes sense, not just politically but personally. He can breathe easy, he can have more of a personal life, but one feels bad also. You just quit IAS thinking for greener pastures, but actually you have been left with nothing, no service. And
you think a
no
message would have been
future.
given to him that, this is it?
I'm sure the way in which Naveen Babu was going around last 3-4 days
Yeah.
to the Raj Bhavan, in the legislature party meeting, the absence of Pandian was being noticed by everyone, and this came a little sooner than expected maybe, but the timing is just right. He should have called it a day.
What do you see as the future? In fact, let me go across to my colleague Kamalika also, who's joining us. Kamalika, any indications from the BJD top leadership? Of course, that's Naveen Patnaik and a few others. What next? Because V.K. Pandian was being seen as the heir to Naveen Patnaik. Certainly, he was managing behind the scenes, given the fact that Naveen Patnaik was not in the pink of health. What happens from here on?
If you see just after the results, we have seen Naveen Patnaik himself coming out, himself talking to the workers, which was generally not seen while the election campaign was on. It was always V.K. Pandian who used to take Naveen Patnaik. Even that video which went viral, and that also had an effect, in the mindset of the voters. That's some of the experts say. The Naveen Patnaik's hand that is trembling, and V.K. Pandian was making keeping it in the right position. So all these things had a ramification over the voters as well as the workers. But now the big definitely is that who after Naveen Patnaik? There is nobody in the party. Is there anybody in the party who can actually hold down the fort and carry this? Because this is not a good time. This is a time where such a successful government as what they claim, that has fallen to BJP. So what next? Who is going to be the next? There is a turmoil inside BJP. Right. But if you see, V.K. Pandian also took a very important and very important decision to quit the politics, because it was becoming difficult for him to continue in this way, because all the blames and all the questions were coming to him. At least he could, as Sanjeev Srivastava was saying, at least he could breathe a better life for some time. Because the fact that he was into helm of the affairs, everybody is making him responsible for this debacle, and the fact is it was unexpected. BJD top brass, Naveen Patnaik, close people, no one expected that this is going to be a debacle. We have been speaking to the experts of Odisha, the reporters, senior reporters of Odisha. Everybody was having this feel that BJP will do well in Parliament, but not in the assembly polls.
Right.
They will do well, but not that they'll house the government. So it's a good decision by the Pandians strategically maybe, but it puts a very big question that who after Naveen Patnaik, and also puts a big question on the future of BJP party itself.
Well, they certainly have to start from scratch. They'll have to rebuild themselves, because on all parameters that you can really judge performances on, they've been big losers as far as this Odisha state is concerned. Total number of votes, vote share, obviously number of seats both in state and assembly. In assembly, they were wiped. In state, I beg your pardon, in Lok Sabha, they were wiped out. Not even one seat that the BJD could win. So it doesn't really happen normally in politics anywhere, even in India. We've not seen this kind of reversal for a state party that has been so dominant for so many years. We'll slip into a very short break. On the other side, we'll get you more news and updates.
Younger faces, those who've performed extremely well in Lok Sabha elections, and of course keeping caste factors in mind as well.
Well, of course, there's been a lot of confusion as far as Mr. Annamalai's name is concerned, but we do understand that present in that meeting was another party mate of Mr. Annamalai from Tamil Nadu, and that's Mr. L. Murugan. Mr. L. Murugan served as a Minister of State in Information Broadcasting and Fisheries in the Narendra Modi 2.0 government that actually was expanded in 2021. He is, of course, a Dalit face. He's been somebody who's very, very popular as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. The Prime Minister is extremely fond of his simplicity, and it is evident from the fact that on 2 years, both on Tamil Nadu's New Year, etc., the Prime Minister on Pongal, the Prime Minister did go to his residence, and the message that he was trying to send to the people of Tamil Nadu is, we are giving your people representation, you mean a lot for us, and we will ensure that your culture is protected. And that's the reason amongst the outgoing Rajya Sabha members, if I remember correctly, beg your pardon, Murugan was the only one who got an extension of a full 6 years term. He in fact got the 6 year
Big news coming in. We're speaking of K. Annamalai, Payal. We're learning that he's not seen in these pictures, which means he was not at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, which means he's going to continue working in Tamil Nadu. And Pallavi is getting us that bit of information as well. Pallavi, you're telling us that K. Annamalai has now conveyed that he is going to continue working in Tamil Nadu, which means he's not going to be seen in the national capital and he's not going to be seen as part of Modi 3.0. Now, what's really going on at that end? You know, many were saying that the fact that he's going to be brought to the center may mean a change of equations in Tamil Nadu as far as the AIDMK and the BJP is concerned. Doesn't look like that's happening.
You know, Christine, I went very briefly to Coimbatore and where he's contesting the elections from. There's no denying the fact that he has brought a lot of traction. If you look away from what, despite the results which have come in of the BJP's performance in Tamil Nadu, there's no doubt about the fact at least people are talking about the BJP, and the BJP will certainly see that as an achievement. See, breaking a bastion like of the DMK or the AIDMK is not going to be an easy task. These things do take time, but somewhere you have to make a beginning. Perhaps that's what the BJP top leadership feels over here, that at least a beginning has been made. People are talking about the BJP. I saw, for example, when I used to cover Bengal politics as well, there was a time when the BJP would be there, no one would talk about them. But suddenly people began talking about them, and today you know where they are. So therefore, in politics, it's very important that you're spoken about, your presence is taken cognizance of. It's like a tick mark that you get. And I think that is going to be the work which is going to be bestowed on Pannabalai. When we then asked him for a quote, he said, no, I'm very much going to remain in Tamil Nadu and I'm going to carry on my work. The next big challenge will be to ensure that the cadre remains enthused despite the lack of good performance over there. But more importantly, whenever the state elections are taking place, regardless of whether there's going to be an alliance with the AIADMK or what, the BJP would want to make their inroads. Down south is very much a part of Mission BJP, and that I think is going to be the responsibility on Pannabalai.
Absolutely. Now,
thanks a lot for staying with CNN News 18. We're getting all the build-up and all the breaking updates that are coming in ahead of the swearing-in ceremony later this evening. Now we're getting this big statement from Devendra Fadnavis, one of the tall leaders of the BJP in the state of Maharashtra, which was a blip for them. He's come out to clarify that the BJP or the central government offered MOS independent charge to the NCP, their alliance partners, but they were demanding a cabinet post. That gives you a sense that there was some trouble as far as the negotiations there are concerned. We were also getting to know earlier that there could be some internal troubles within the NCP Ajit Pawar faction of who gets that one post, whether it's MOS or cabinet. Mayuresh Ganpati is joining us with more on this. Mayuresh, tell us.
Absolutely, this is the first confirmation coming from Devendra Fadnavis that NCP, who has got only one MP from Maharashtra, were offered a cabinet, MOS post with the independent charge. But NCP is still adamant on their stand that they want the cabinet post. If we see the internal issue of the NCP, that NCP had decided that Praful Patel will take oath, but Praful Patel, who had already held a cabinet post in we can say in a UPA government, so it was very technically it was very wrong to offer him a MOS, and that's why this time we can there is a chance that we may not see NCP leader or NCP MP taking oath, because NCP is still adamant on their stand that they want cabinet portfolio, not MOS.
And what about the fact that, you know, the cabinet swearing in is taking place later this evening? So is there any breakthrough expected, or could these discussions or negotiations be parked for a later time, given that the swearing in is anyways happening later this evening?
See, there are two MPs of NCP, one in Rajya Sabha and one in Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha MP is Praful Patel, so there is very little chance that Praful Patel will take oath as a MOS, because as I said, he had already held the cabinet post during the Manmohan Singh government. Now, another MP is Sunil Tadkare. Sunil Tadkare is also state president of NCP, and if we see the performance of the party in the Lok Sabha, then certainly Sunil Tadkare is of the opinion that he needs to give more time to the state so that he can go to the ground and work with the ground level workers, party workers, so that they can get a good result during the state assembly polls, because now all eyes will be on the state assembly polls. So that's why Sunil Tadkare has said that he is basically not interested in taking any kind of ministerial post at the center, because if you become a minister, then you have to spend more time in a ministry and not in the state.
No, but no breakthrough expected in this. Then this is how it stands, that the NCP Ajit Pawar faction will not be part of the new cabinet, at least as of now.
it looks like that there will not be any breakthrough. But as we are talking, even the NCP is holding their internal meeting at the Sunil Tadkare's place in Delhi. So we have to wait for some more time for the individual confirmation whether any NCP leader will be taking oath as a MOS independent charge or not.
All right, Mayuresh, thanks a lot for joining us with those details. Sanjay Srivastav continues to be with us. This is going to be more internal for the NCP also, as much as it's going to be external. Of course, they're in no position to dictate. They're in no position to demand, given their results. And they're in no position to rock the upcoming Modi Sarkar 3.0. How do you think they should handle this?
They should just keep shut and sit tight. I think it's some nerve that they are refusing a MOS independent charge post. Because Ajit Pawar not only was reduced himself to one MP, his party, he actually brought the entire NDA down in Maharashtra because of this entire perception that a corrupt leader was taken in by
and
Mr. Modi
broke
and
broke
his uncle's party. And the resentment against Ajit Pawar actually also somewhere, as you bask in reflected glory, you basked in the reflected whatever is the opposite of glory. So BJP also suffered because of that. So I am surprised that BJP in the first place offered MOS independent charge. And to have taken Praful Patel with a cabinet post would have been icing on the cake in reverse. That you again a man with so many corruption charges against him. And the whole campaign in Maharashtra was about Ajit Pawar and Praful Patel types. And so I think Ajit Pawar should not right now be punching above his paycheck much. He should just sit tight, plan for the Maharashtra election, which is going to be such a tough election for NDA. It's just 3 months away. The next two elections.
We don't even know what NDA participates in the next state elections, right?
And also,
exactly in what form?
Also, you can't, if at all, there is some line open with Sharad Pawar, you cannot upset that possible relationship by giving Ajit Pawar more importance. See, the next two elections, both Maharashtra and Haryana, the big elections in the country, both the dice is really loaded against BJP as of now.
Yeah, and they wouldn't really like to do anything that could hurt them further. They would want to, minimize their losses or cut their losses as much as possible.
And if you allow me, Shivani, I would just like to make one more point about an earlier conversation. That I don't think that TDP, Naidu or Nitish Kumar would be really very trigger happy or keeping their fingers on the trigger. But at the same time, the Mr. Modi and the BJP top leadership will also have to remember all the time that they are not running a single majority government, that they are 240. And their survival depends on allies, not the other way around, or as much other way around. It's a symbiotic relationship. So nobody can take each other for granted.
Absolutely. On that note, we have to slip into a very short break. We've got more breaking updates coming in. A lot is happening as far as the national capital is concerned, or across the country actually, but all focusing on the swearing-in ceremony later this evening. So stay with us.
The Tamil Nadu elections were more about AIDMK losing ground than the BJP failing to make gains, because the vote share has increased and the BJP is trying to look at that picture perhaps. But thank you for sharing that perspective with us. Keeping up with these visuals of the interaction that the Prime Minister held with some of the elected MPs and also those who are going to be making it to Modi 3.0 once again, those are the big names, the big faces up on your screens. Aman, like I said, all of those ministers of Modi 2.0 sitting right in the front, so they're in the front lane, and without any doubt, it's very, very convincing, at least by optics, if we just go by these visuals, that they're going to make it to 3.0 with as much force, and they're going to be given as much prominence as well in Modi 3.0. But that said, what do you make of these visuals and of the people who were seen at the Prime Minister's residence a little while earlier?
So I would say the new names which we are now seeing in these visuals, which we have not spoken about so far, Bhupendra Yadav. Again, I was saying earlier, a senior minister in the Modi government, also a face, of somebody with deep organizational acumen in the BJP. Mr. Bhupendra Yadav was the Union Environment Minister and the Labour Minister in the last government. He will be continuing in the Union Council of Ministers. We are seeing Mr. Jewel Oram, again a tribal face. He is being included into the Union Council of Ministers. Of course, Mr. Virendra Kumar from Madhya Pradesh, another tried and tested face from Madhya Pradesh. He was a union minister in the last government as well. He'll be a union minister again this time. Mr. Virendra Kumar, SPS Baghel, the MP from Agra, who's won again. He is also becoming a minister. He was also a minister in the previous government. L. Murugan, as Payal was speaking about a few minutes earlier, also in the Union Council of Ministers. So big names there. And we can see in this list now in the front row, we can see Mr. Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Amit Shah, Nirmala Sitharamanji, Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal can be seen.
So the next 100 days going to be very critical, and the Prime Minister set the task, cut the task out for the MPs. That's his message to all of them. He did have a quick interaction, remember, over tea with some of those who are also going to be making it to the cabinet, and all of them were in attendance a little while earlier at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg as well. Pallavi, to quickly come to you. Now, remember, every time we talk about the BJP strategy, one is also looking at, you know, whether it's going to be a 100-day plan, whether it's going to be Viksit Bharat by 2047. The Prime Minister always sets these targets, and the opposition interest.
Welcome back. We're getting some updates as far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned. Now, the BJP's big face and state president Annamalai has spoken to CNN News 18. Remember, there were speculations that he could be inducted in the new cabinet because of the role that he has played. But that is not to be. But Annamalai has spoken to CNN News 18 saying that Tamil Nadu will get representation in the new government, and that just shows the BJP's focus in the state. Listen in.
Just coming in that Mr. Pandian has announced a retirement from active politics in Odisha because
Madam, we will comment. Today is an important day where Modi ji is getting swearing in. After that, we will comment, madam. Evening, I'll be here at the same time.
Tamil Nadu is finding representation in the Modi cabinet?
100% Modi ji has got a lot of love for Tamil people. Tamil Nadu, of course, will have a representation in the Modi ji's cabinet, madam. You wait and see, madam.
My colleague Arunima is also joining us over the phone line. The big question of representation for the state of Tamil Nadu, is there a name, Arunima, that you've come across? Because Annamalai's name was being speculated on, but that's not to be.
Yes, Mr. L. Murugan is most likely to represent Tamil Nadu. He is the Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting in the outgoing Modi government, and he was invited for the tea program that Prime Minister conducted this morning. Even though Murugan himself is not speaking, he's saying he's awaiting a confirmation from the Prime Minister's office about his role. But enough indication that it will be Mr. Murugan who will be representing Tamil Nadu in the Modi 3.0 cabinet.
All right. Other than that, anything more you're hearing, Arunima, on what the call the BJP had to take is in terms of Annamalai's future role? They clearly want him to stick to the state and keep doing what he was doing, because the next big platform is the state elections.
See, I did ask him that question. I asked him that how come his induction in the Modi cabinet is not happening, because it was widely speculated. He said that the focus of the Bharatiya Janata Party is state assembly elections of Tamil Nadu, and he's also confirming that Tamil Nadu is finding representation in the union government. It's not as if Mr. Annamalai's absence is making any change to the state's fortune. It's very clear that Mr. Annamalai wants to focus on building the BJP unit in Tamil Nadu, pose a real challenge to the DMK government there, possibly make BJP emerge as an alternative now that AIA-DMK's fortunes are downhill. So I think that is the reason that a call was taken to allow Mr. Annamalai to be stationed in Chennai and focus on the Karyakartas there, focus on organization building in Tamil Nadu.
All right. Arunima, thanks a lot for that. Well, while BJP has its own considerations to take care of, remember they fought the elections in Tamil Nadu alone or as the bigger party in a coalition with other smaller parties for the very first time. The big focus ahead of the swearing in is on two states. One is Uttar Pradesh. Road to centre leads from Uttar Pradesh, although this time around the BJP was beaten quite comprehensively in the state. And the other is Bihar. How are the two states stacking up? So look at the UP allocation as far as Modi 3.0 is concerned. You've got the likes of Rajnath Singh, of course, leading. He's one from Lucknow. He's their big face from UP. Jayant Chaudhary, RLD alliance partner, also in cabinet. You've got Jitin Prasad, earlier in the state government as a minister, being transferred to Delhi after shifting from the Congress party. Anupriya Patel, alliance partner, performance is nothing to write home about, but there. And then, of course, the likes of Hardeep Singh Puri, you've got Pankaj Chaudhary, BL Verma, Kamlesh Paswan, SP Singh Baghel, and others, all part. So you'll count this if you were to do a comparison state per state. 80 seats from UP, 9 allocations to Uttar Pradesh. Let's also take a look at what Bihar is getting, because Bihar is in focus, given that their big ally JDU has done well and helped the NDA this time around, and the alliance partners are going to be crucial for the government's standing or majority. 8 allocations for Bihar as well. Now Bihar has 40 seats, half of Uttar Pradesh, but the allocation is roughly matching what Uttar Pradesh is getting this time around. The results dictate all of this. So Chirag Paswan, alliance partner, Jitan Ram Majhi, alliance partner. You've got, of course, old faces like Giriraj Singh, Nityanand Rai of the BJP, Lallan Singh, alliance partners, and then others, Raj Bhushan, Satish Dubey, Ramnath Thakur, big face in the state, all getting representation as far as Bihar is concerned. Caste calculations, alliance partner calculations, all being taken care of in Bihar. And of course, this is not it. This is not where it ends really. Because in Bihar, they will also have to focus a lot on what kind of projects, fund allocations, grants, etc. can be given, because that's the key demand of the big alliance partners, both JDU and the TDP, for their states. Let's also listen into some top reactions coming in ahead of the swearing in.
स्वाभाविक है कि इस प्रकार की परंपरा प्रधानमंत्री जी हमेशा करते हैं कि अपने काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स के गठन से पहले वो चाय पर बुलाते हैं, उन्हीं को बुलाते हैं जिनको अपने काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स में इंडक्ट करना होता है। सामान्य सूचनाएं थी, कोई बड़ा विषय नहीं था, चाय पी है और सायकाल समय पर सब लोग पहुंचे। इतनी एक सूचना है, कुछ फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरी करनी होती है, वो फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरी की हैं। बाकी की जानकारियां उन्होंने ये जरूर कहा कि अभी 24 घंटे इसके बाद भी यहीं रुकना है, ताकि और भी कोई मीटिंग होगी, कुछ होगा तो वो करें।
सम्मानीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी लगातार तीसरी बार मुझे अपनी टीम में शामिल करके देश की सेवा का सौभाग्यपूर्ण अवसर दिया है। मैं सिर्फ इस अवसर पर इतना कह सकता हूं कि जो संकल्प देश को विकसित बनाने का सम्मानीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लिया है, और जिन वादों को लेकर के हम चुनाव के मैदान में गए थे, हमारा अपना घोषणा पत्र जिसको हम लेकर के गए थे, हम निश्चित रूप से उन सब वादों को पूरा करने, देश की अपेक्षाओं और आकांक्षाओं पर खरा उतरने के लिए हम सब टीम की तरह काम करेंगे।
मेरे जैसे छोटे आदमी को केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल में देकर जो सम्मान दिया है, मैं उनके प्रति कृतज्ञता ज्ञापित करता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रति और नीतीश कुमार जी के प्रति।
Stay with CNN News 18. We're getting you all the breakups that you need to know ahead of the swearing in, which is scheduled for 7:15 p.m. this evening. A lot of action still taking place and breaking updates coming in. I take your leave. My colleague Rahul Shivshankar is joining you after a very short break.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित
The Modi 3.2 era is kicking off. The most comprehensive coverage of the historic swearing-in ceremony. Only on CNN News 18.
To use it to its advantage and turns it around and gives a counter slogan to it.
See, I think there are a couple of messages I think the Prime Minister has certainly given to the opposition parties, and he's going to be confronting them a lot when the new Parliament session meets. See, we are looking at those first pictures, I guess, which are coming out of Team Prime Minister, Team Modi 3.0, and we've been talking about the continuity and the change and the kind of a regional and caste balances. But just to talk beyond that, because now we've been talking about the kind of faces, what is it going to be the task which is going to cut out for them? I think the Prime Minister, as an astute politician, does understand understand that, you know, he cannot let it go the UPA 2 way. UPA 2 also began on a very rocky wicket. It got worse for them because at some point of time it led to a policy paralysis. It without a perception that Dr. Manmohan Singh may have meant well, but he was always constantly buckling under allies' pressure. I think the Prime Minister's messaging, even in choosing his team, is very clear. It's going to be hands-on. It's going to be mostly BJP. Those faces which you've been seeing in the last 10 years carrying on the idea of Viksit Bharat will continue to finish that agenda. I remember on multiple platforms, the PM, while addressing the campaigns and rallies, would say that, you know, we have an unfinished task which has to be fulfilled. The 100-day task which has been given to his ministers in the previous term also, it was very interesting. Right, I remember even after the last phase of voting was over, he had 7 meetings talking about cyclone, heat wave. But one of those 7 meetings between was on the 100-day agenda, the report card. That was a confidence, but that was also his deep messaging which is going out even now and hence on is that, you know, my focus is going to be on development, social development, but most importantly economic development, which is why the people who are going to be chose to head and in charge of the key infrastructural economic ministries are going to be very important, and that will give us a sense of how much he thinks that this is the team which needs to go ahead to fulfill this agenda. And thereby also sending out a message to the opposition that I am not going to be a lame duck government, I am not going to be a UPA 2.0, I am going to be very much a person, a Prime Minister who is in control. That's also a rebuttal to this entire theory which is being pushed by the opposition ever since the results came out, that he should not be called the Prime Minister designate, he should be called the Prime Minister resignate, he doesn't have the mandate.
At 7:30 p.m. today, history will be made as Narendra Modi becomes the first Prime Minister to be born in independent India to be sworn in for the 3rd consecutive time, viewers. Over the last 5 years, fate threw everything, almost everything it had to test Modi. A scourge of biblical proportions called COVID-19, 2 wars, one in Ukraine and another in Israel, and a potentially destabilizing axis of malevolence forged between politicians and farmer unions. Most leaders would have buckled under the combined weight of such a set of variegated challenges. Many appear to have. In the UK, as you know, Rishi Sunak is probably going to be elected out, and in the United States, Mr. Biden is going to have a real battle to fight, an uphill task for him. But Modi, battered and bruised he may be, has pulled through, which is why it would be a little unfair to solely rely on time-worn phrases like Hindutva polarization and personality cult to explain the historic outcome we are living through. We'll make sense of the moment by speaking to some of the most insightful commentators. But first, let's get an update on who has made it to Team Modi. Let's open this up. Let's go straight across first to Arunima to get a sense really of the contours of the new Modi team. We also have Aman with us, who has been reporting since the morning, and very insightfully he's been weaving together this entire name by name, this entire team that is going to lead India for the next 5 years. At least that's what the hope is. Aman, just give us a big sense really of Modi 3.0. Large number of names have made it back, some new faces.
Well, yes, Rahul. See, I think 2-3 big points in this. Number one point, the extent of the contours of the Modi 3.0 government. About 65 ministers, 53 almost from the BJP, about a dozen from the allies. So the BJP having about 80% of the ministers in the Council of Ministers, in a way cornering the lion's share, and rightly so, because BJP has about 240 MPs in the Lok Sabha. The next biggest constituent is the TDP at 16 and JDU at 12. Also keeping, I think, the expectations of the allies within reasonable parameters. One cabinet minister, one MOS each to the TDP and the JDU, one cabinet minister to the LJP, to the Shiv Sena, to Jayant Chaudhary. So I think it has been kept under control. You know, many people were saying that the allies will demand a lot and there'll be a lot of back and forth. That has not happened. And in a way, the allies very smoothly. The Council of Ministers ally distribution has been done. Second, I would say the big names in Modi government since the inception, the big four, I would say, Mr. Amit Shah, Mr. Rajnath Singh, Nirmala Sitharaman, and S. Jaishankar are back as cabinet ministers. So I don't see much change in the CCS. Maybe there is some shuffling around here and there. Somebody goes to some other place and somebody goes to that person's place. But the big four are very much there. So is Mr. Nitin Gadkari, one of the senior most ministers also in the government. I can also see the performers, I would say. The tier 2 in the BJP that we call it, the government, but the real performers like the Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal, Mansukh Mandavia, Arjun Meghwal, Jyotiraditya Scindia. All these people are also back and they have been holding very, very key ministries in the second term of the Modi government. So in a way, the continuity is there because the Modi government is very, determined about this 100-day plan, about telling ministries what we need to hit the ground running. I think that continuity has been maintained to ensure that hitting the ground plan is very much in place, and these ministers, Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal, can lead the growth agenda in very, very key ministries like infrastructure, IT, commerce, law and other ministries. Third aspect I'm seeing here is the induction of some state BJP's key talent in the state, some people with key long administrative experience, Shivraj Chauhan, C.R. Patil, M.L. Khattar. These people coming to the union cabinet now, bringing in the wealth of experience they have of being either multiple time CMs or multiple time state party presidents in their respective states. I think that is the additional talent which is coming. Watch out for Shivraj Singh Chauhan. I suspect he will get a very important portfolio in this government because he's delivered Madhya Pradesh both in the assembly as well in the Lok Sabha. He's won his own seat Vidisha by over 8 lakh votes. Woman power, I think almost 8 women ministers I can count in this. So, some big woman faces of the government had lost. Smriti Irani, lost. Menaka Gandhi has lost. So other big ministers, women ministers, we are seeing some new faces coming this time. It would be interesting to see what portfolios they are given. Shobha Karanjale is one name to watch out from coastal Karnataka, Udupi. She's a firebrand leader. It would be interesting to see what is given to her. Also other big names I missed out on. Dharmendra Pradhan, Gajendra Shekhawat, of course. These are the big people who are back. Sukanto Majumdar, like the BJP state president in Bengal, being brought into the Union Council of Ministers. So I think the BJP has done a very good exercise, I would say, describe it, of old people, experienced people, the emerging talent in the BJP coming from the states, women faces. I think it's a very cohesive cabinet as I see it right now. And it would be interesting to see, actually, I won't second hazard a guess on who's getting what portfolio because the Modi government is known to throw up big surprises.
That's right.
But let's see what happens.
But I'm not going to let you off. I'm not going to let you off the hook that easily. I'll come back to you, Aman. Just stay on with us. I just want to quickly tap into Arunima. She's also waiting it out there in the heat outside Nitish Kumar's residence. Arunima, great to be talking to you. Look, fundamentally, a lot was expected by the way of hard bargaining from the allies. But I must say that this particular experiment by Mr. Modi in running a coalition is very different from the UPA years when there were certain individuals, influencers, call them what you want to, who were trying to fix positions for ministers, and there was, you know what the parlor games, as you would call them, were going on. So very different. Has Nitish Kumar tamped down expectations, or is he expecting something different? Not so much berths, but maybe packages, etc. What's happening there?
See, I think Nitish Kumar is in a wait-and-watch mode. Just as Bharatiya Janata Party, led by Prime Minister Modi, is, a very tightly knit unit, so is JDU. It's a one-man show. Only Nitish Kumar knows and plans what's good for the party. All the party MPs have reposed their faith in him once again. They say that he has not really bargained on any portfolio. Railway Ministry was something that they really wanted. And Lovely Anand, the newly elected JDU MP, did not make any bones about that. She said railway is important for us and we want that. But the other JDU insiders who are close to Nitish Kumar tell me that there was no bargaining, no list was given, 2 cabinet, 3 cabinet, 2 MOS, nothing. It was left to Prime Minister Modi. Why is that? Because Nitish Kumar's focus is Bihar. He wants to allow Prime Minister the elbow room to run the union government the way he wishes to, with support of JDU. But in return, he does want a lot of focus on Bihar. Focus in terms of financial help. He wants a financial package for Bihar, focus in terms of bringing in industries and employment opportunities to Bihar. Economic, distress, palayan as it is popularly called in Bihar, is a big issue. Laborers from across Bihar will be seen in Kashmir, in Punjab, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, but they're not seen in Bihar. I mean, because they have no job opportunities there. So that is the other thing on which he wants centre's help. And third, 2 lakh rupees is what he has promised the below poverty line Bihari. He does want centre's help in implementing that. So now, for now, I think Nitish is, like he said at the Central Hall also, hum aapke saath hain. Aap jaise chalana